You're going to do it because you're an actor, and that's what you do. Just like the director does what he does, and the writer and the script girl and the guy who claps the slate. And you're going to do it because the podcast has worth. And if you have worth, and you have worth, if you serve the podcast, and you're never going to forget that again.
It's so good.
I'm going to cry.
So good.
Should we take it again?
Yeah. I stumbled on the one line. Do you have any note? Do you have any, what do you think? More trippingly?
I think just like with more oomph.
Rueful. Okay, and I'll do a mirthless chuckle at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, please.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
It was a little too small. Let me try that again. You're going to do it because you're an actor, and that's what you do. Just like the director does what he does, and the writer and the script girl and the guy who claps the slate. You're going to do it because the podcast has worth, and you have worth if you serve the podcast, and you're never going to forget that again. Is that too rueful?
No, that was great.
And the cough was good. I think
That's
that was
right.
good that we captured
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
David has been sick for 6 months, it feels like,
Since the live show.
since the live show.
Yeah. I got sick right after the live show. And then I was like, I guess I'm not sick anymore. And then I was like, I'm sick again. Is it the same or is it new? I think
Sure.
it's new.
It's
But
JJ
like,
brought it.
You're right. It is JJ's disease.
You know what? Now that we actually have someone who knew JJ when he was
Wait,
an
what?
awful teenager,
I think
essentially.
I forgot this
They went to
part
college together.
of the lore.
Our guest went to his wedding. To whatever fool married him.
Which is the last time I've seen JJ.
Shirley, here's my question.
You guys have seen JJ before I have.
Yes, but we've also only seen him 2 times
2 times.
ever in our life.
Hi, JJ. I've shouted out JJ every time I've been on, and I feel like it led to this point.
I literally got in touch with JJ because Shirley was like, hey, can my annoying friend like DM you on Twitter?
I never said annoying.
Can my annoying friend ruin your lives forever?
It was not annoying, but sort of like, hey, my friend's like a huge fan. Is it okay if I like?
Yeah, Shirley
you
was
know?
like, mind if I what about Bob you?
I asked for
We love
consent when
JJ.
adding people to group chats.
Yes.
We love JJ, but I have a question for you, Shirley.
Uh-oh.
Because someone needs to take responsibility for this. Did you know that JJ was hot, or was he not hot back
Oh
when you
my
knew him?
God.
Because you should have warned us and we shouldn't have hired him.
He was telling me that his trip to New York has involved, what was it, like a startling number of people telling him how tall he is.
People are thirst trapping, and he's a fucking tall drink of water.
I mean, I always knew JJ was cute. JJ, you're a cutie.
He's just fucking...
He's a good looking guy.
All,
He's aged
all
into
of my
his
friends
looks.
are hot, including the 3 of you. Do you
Thank
feel
you.
better?
Thank you.
I appreciate that, but here's the thing.
You're a journalist, and so your responsibility is to the truth.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
I am just going to say
to my
this
to my
candidly.
20 million readers.
Yes, I appreciate you saying that, but I'm going to say this candidly. AJ, Alan Smithy, and JJ are all so much hotter than the 3 of us, and it sucks.
They're good looking guys.
It sucks. It sucks that the 3 guys who are not
God, he's
primarily
so mad.
on mic are so fucking
think-
handsome.
my
I
God.
think editing just puts you in some kind of like great like workout. Like they're all in
does.
good shape.
They all got great
Mm.
hair.
Yeah.
They all got good posture.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not a competition, Griff.
The whole thing with
You're
JJ,
I serve the podcast because the
Is
podcast
like-
has worth, and that's what
Yeah.
it's about.
Yeah,
I don't know if you would agree with me or not, Shirley Li, who we haven't introduced yet.
that's okay.
And we
And we
haven't
won't
introduced the
introduce
show
her.
yet.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to be a while. So just sit
Shirley
back.
Li,
Go.
my close friend.
Well,
like-
please don't even get close to introducing.
Right.
But that is the main
I'd
credit
like to
you want to be
introduce
introduced
my
with, right?
friend Shirley Li, who works with me at Atlantic, but we haven't introduced her
No,
yet.
not to the podcast.
JJ, online
Mhm.
and sort of in his communications comes off like a little shy or more introverted, I suppose.
Mhm.
And then he's got that BDE
And
in
then
person.
we're like, hey, so JJ, like, hi, nice to meet you finally for IRL. So the show's tomorrow, and like, just you're cool with us like bringing you on stage and like doing bits with you.
I'm
essentially.
imagining your mouths like agape, like
He's-
wide open.
we were worried
Hey,
that, that we were going to be
We're just like, hey,
doing
like,
something cruel by even asking him to
Right.
appear
Are
on
you
stage.
actually
That
down
he's going to
for
be a
this?
nervous wreck.
And JJ's like, yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
fine.
do that. I've lectured in front of people at college, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, sure. I mean, I guess
Right.
it's sort of like that. And then like
He walks on stage to like
That's
fucking
JJ.
Arsenio
Yeah,
Wolf
walks on
whistles.
stage. Everyone's going ballistic. He does everything perfectly.
Yeah.
And then where I'm like, this guy doesn't want to get off the stage, and not in like a. He needs like he's drinking it, and he's just kind of like, yeah, I'm chill up here as
No.
long as you need
We
me.
called Sandman to give him the cane and tap dance him off the stage, and Sandman was like, "No, I like this guy."
Yes, him and tried to get me off. I'm like, wait, what's going on? And And then like he walks off stage and afterwards he's like, that was fun. And then
Yeah.
he's like tweeting like, you know, what a great moment in my life. And I'm like, in chillest IRL.
Yeah.
JJ is the chillest person.
Texting with him is not a chill
No.
experience. And I was just like, oh my God.
Me
he's
and
gonna
airplane,
Right.
you know, sweating meme.
Right. He's going to be fucking like Luca Brasi preparing to meet with Don Corleone, having dinner with him. And then I show up and it was the energy of like, and you are.
I don't want JJ to have the same fate as Luca. But JJ, is the chillest person
But like,
on the
Luca
planet.
lived a good life, right?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
How old's Luca Brasi, do you think, when he fucking gets absolutely
Oh, God.
murdered?
I can't tell ages.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, look, JJ's not going to have the same fate as Luca Brasi. Luca Brasi was murdered and JJ is only fired.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was a mob.
It is, in a way.
It's true.
Kinda.
I mean, it's kind
How
of like Hail
old
Caesar.
was
It's like, right, does it take organized crime in a
Mhm.
form, a legalized organized crime ring?
Context
great art.
clues, according to Google, says it's reasonable to estimate he was in his early 50s.
Okay.
Luca Brasi.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I was pretty far off.
So.
Had those city miles on him.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like Luca Brasi's had like exactly like kind of a crazy life. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
he's done some stuff.
At
He's
least it's
seen
not
things.
like the Cheers meme, though. If you told me Luca Brasi was like 26.
Right. Who is it in Cheers? It's like Norm
Everyone.
is like, right, Norm's 5.
At the, at the start of Cheers,
He just graduated kindergarten.
Everyone's like 28 years old.
everyone other
Right.
than Nicholas Constanto was under 37.
Right. And even Coach is only 42.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, I'm old. I mean, like, it's kind of that vibe back then,
I
right?
mean, I think he was like 52. He
Yeah,
wasn't even that old.
Oh, God.
Ratzenberger was the oldest looking man who has ever lived. And you're like, they plucked him out of high school. This is Blank Check with Griffin and David. I'm Griffin.
I did.
This is a really good intro.
Colasanto died at the age of 61.
Okay.
It's like such a bummer.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was
man.
just in his 50s on Cheers.
Yeah. And he
Ugh.
was already in bad state. They offered him the party, didn't want to do it because he said, like, I'm too old. My mind is going. I don't think I have the strength for it. And they were like, you're 57. And he was right.
Yeah.
He's incredible in that show.
Wow, what a note to start on.
This is like a perfect intro to scare off any new listeners. We're
Yeah,
going
I'm
so
sorry. Who's jumping on with
straight
the Hail
into
Caesar
deep
app?
lore, our own internal fucking lore. But here's the thing.
Mhm.
I'll build to this point. This is Blank Check with Griffin and David. I'm Griffin.
David.
It's a podcast about filmographies, directors who have massive success early on in their careers and are given a series of blank checks to make whatever crazy passion projects they want. And sometimes those checks clear. Sometimes those checks clear and sometimes they bounce baby. I was trying to think of a serves the picture thing, but I couldn't do it. It's a miniseries on the films of the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan Coen.
That's right.
It is called Pod Country for Old Casts.
Probably. We assume.
We
Uh-oh.
assume. We actually can't remember. There's no way to double check at this point. And people are just going to have to listen to 4 months of us second guessing ourselves every time we say it. But today we're talking about Hail Caesar,
Yes.
which it's funny to think sort of feels like their last film together.
Right,
Because of the
Scruggs
weird
is the next
nature of
one.
Scruggs
Mhm.
and
Right.
Scruggs being like, was this meant to be a TV show? Was this designed to short films? It was released as a film, but that was like a very last second switch. And this does sort of feel like a retirement film in an odd way, even though it certainly didn't seem like it at the time.
No, but I know what you mean in terms of like it's a sort of farewell to movies or what. Yeah.
The way Ethan and Joel has talked about Ethan's burnout and just being like, I need to take a breather.
Right.
This feels like a movie of guys who have just been like working nonstop and are sort of like, why do we care about movies?
Why do we care about art? Is there
Yeah.
any worth in what we do?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it like comes to a place of like confidence, but also a place where it feels like maybe I'm ready to step away.
Right.
Is
And
that my final statement?
Ethan's like, yeah. What motivates me now? Lesbians.
Yes. Dildos.
So many lesbians.
Mm-hmm.
Just the more, the better.
Yeah.
How many lesbians are in this movie? Like 2. He's like, I don't
Not
care.
enough.
All right, we've added 8 more. Okay, I'll direct it right now.
Can I become the bizarro DJ Khaled of cinema? Hail Caesar. A great film. A masterpiece.
Yes, a wonderful film.
I have a very distinct memory of you and I. We were at Ray's Pizza getting ready to go to the final showing ever at the Ziegfeld Theater.
We certainly did
It
go
was
to
fucking
that.
Force Awakens playing in its second month in January before it closed, and we went to that. We were getting pizza beforehand. You told me you saw Hail Caesar earlier that day. You said it's really great. And I said, that's awesome. I love when the Coen brothers do their kind of just like fun romp things. And you looked at me very seriously and went, no, this is like a masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, right. It was released in what, February?
Yep.
Right. So it's like, I feel like everyone was kind of like, okay, so this is just a confection, you know,
But it was
like,
also
right.
sold in a very similar fashion to Burn After Reading of like, we got a bunch of big stars doing silly stuff. And that movie, as I like to remind people, did bizarrely well, is completely forgotten. It felt like they were doing the exact same marketing tactic. And I was like, I'm on board for another one of those.
Right.
And you were like, this is profound. This movie is profound. It's about everything. I saw it. I was not befuddled by it, but I was like, yeah, it's fun. I don't know if I quite see what David's seeing.
I think you more had the reaction most people had to it of like, fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
And some great stuff in it. And then is one of those movies that like 2 weeks later, I was like, I got to go see that again.
Yeah.
And I
you're
have
like,
watched
I
it.
think I saw it 3 times in theaters.
I saw it at least 2, if not 3.
Yeah.
I've watched it at least 5 times since then. It's a movie that fucking rocks and rolls. And speaking of rock and rolling, our guest today, you might know her best as
Should we hold off on this? No,
David
let's do it.
Sims'
Let's do it.
friend and coworker.
What if you never do it?
We've done that bit and it's fine, but I feel like it's sort of like, you know.
It also works better when we do it to Hoffman because he gets more irritated by it.
Oh, he wants to be introduced. That's
Yeah,
right.
and we've held off, and now he starts introducing himself. From the Atlantic, Shirley Li. Far too long. One of the most requested. Why has it been so long since Shirley was on the show? And the reason why is people go all around great guest, great personality, great jokes, great laugh, but more than anything, she unlocks David.
Oh,
David is in rare form whenever
I feel
Shirley
like I
is
should
on the
leave
show.
the room.
the key to the, Shirley,
The dog is off the
I
leash.
feel like
you've only been on 2 episodes.
It's crazy.
I'm nervous being here. I
You
feel like
moved
the last
to-
time I was here,
no.
I don't know. I like caused a ruckus.
Vanya?
That's people want the ruckus.
What was the ruckus? I remember that's a famous episode that got fucked up in the audio boom days.
That's the ruckus.
Wait, what episode?
Ponyo. I mean, it was mostly fun, but it was one of those episodes
sure.
where chunks of it got messed with.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It's like Mad Max, Ponyo, Public Enemies are the big 3 I remember.
Yes.
Huh.
Where like after the fact, you were like the system overloaded.
Jeez, Ben, you
PBS Dawn
turn
of
40 and you
Justice.
forget.
Well, I
Your-
think
your
there's a
memory's
reason
going
why
already.
I've blocked them
That-
out, and I
yeah.
think it's because it became an actual nightmare.
Right. That
Oh,
year,
shit.
which
For
was like
me
sort
to
of the
deal
last
with.
year at
Sorry.
Audio Boom
Yes.
Studios, it started to really
Oh my
be a
God,
problem.
right? Because then we had
Then they
our
moved
Mad
to-
Max episode that got all
That's
fucked
what I'm
up,
saying. Yeah. Those and then this
which
something
was not my
happened in
fault.
Yeah.
2020.
Oh, I wasn't accusing you.
You were pointing at me
I
this
didn't say
entire
anything.
time.
There was like
Your
a,
Honor, he's
a
fine.
thing. 2020.
2020.
Something went on then, and that was
Call the
also.
Wild came out.
Uh,
David just David just saluted.
Never saw that one.
Me
You know?
neither.
Never checked. I know Ben saw it. I
Do
know
you
Ben
remember
saw
us ruefully in the pandemic
Ruefully.
being like, can you believe we didn't
it. We
take
bring
the
it up all the
opportunity
time. It's like,
to
we
go
could've
see
gone to
Call
see
the
that
Wild?
in a theater.
We're here in our fucking bedrooms locked up in June 2020, and we could have been seeing Call the Wild with
So
a big
sad.
bucket of popcorn surrounded by rowdy strangers.
So this is your Eddington,
Yeah,
Griffin.
yeah.
So Shirley, you were
Yes.
on our Sense and Sensibility episode, of course, in
Yes.
which Ben was baffled by
right.
the concept of a deathbed, which I've never forgotten.
What happened to that guy? You see him dying at the beginning of the movie and they never follow up. One of the greatest Ben questions of all time, asked in earnest. And I think you even said that guy's on his deathbed and then they never tell you what happened to him.
Did he make it?
Well, you said that in the first like 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah. It was
I
a need.
needed to get clarity.
Right.
It's important.
And it
Yeah.
was framed as, I was so confused by this movie. And we're like, list the things that confused you. And that was top of the list.
You were on a Ponyo episode, a movie that
Historic.
back then I had seen many times. Now I have seen such a staggering amount of
Right.
times that I know like every single.
You've
watched
broken
Ponyo
records.
as much as you've brushed your teeth.
Yeah.
Wait.
And then we cannot
Yeah,
forget
his
Shirley.
hygiene is not great.
Oh boy. You cannot forget, Shirley, that you did appear on our
Yes.
Wendell and Wild
Mhm.
episode to
Calling.
recount.
Oh
That
yes, the
dark day.
terrifying
The dark day.
evening
Remember
when I
Yes.
saw you as like one of the infected from 20 days later.
He was infected with the
I
rage
remember
virus.
I was like,
You're
I
so
don't know.
pale.
Like I was like hammering like a panel.
He was on all fours eating worms out of the ground.
And then we just went to some random room Like in like the middle of the building.
They had like lounges upstairs and
Right.
lounges downstairs.
And we just like sat there looking at each other in our pajamas, just like, what
What's
time is
become
it?
of us?
I tried to sleep, and you just kind of continued to go.
I just like stared into space. My daughter
like
woke
The
me up
Grudge.
at 3 a.m. a couple days ago.
Nice work if you can get it.
Seriously. And I go up there and I'm like, what is it? What's going on? Because you're like, okay, you had a bad dream. And she was just like, it's dark outside. And I was like, it's the middle of the night.
That's what happens.
How funny would it be if your daughter, you find her awake at 3 o'clock in the morning and she's just tapping a security panel bleary-eyed?
Well,
And you're like, fuck, she really is my child.
I want to be clear. It was the tapping of the security panel while also trying to message the Airbnb hosts. While also, I don't know how you did this. Both hands rubbing against each other
Yes.
in fright.
Yes.
But it was the fire alarm was going off
The fire
in the
alarm.
building.
Yes.
Which
And then
was not our doing. But
and
then
then you
I
set off.
compounded it by
activating
like a
in-room
security alarm
security. Yeah.
on top of the fire alarm.
I mean, it's funny thinking back, right? It's funny. Not right. Not
Yes,
right.
it's funny.
It's funny.
It's funny.
I just remember that I couldn't
comedy
see, and this is a true tragedy, Darren Aronofsky's The Whale
Oh,
at
Oh,
TIFF
yeah.
because I was so fucking tired
yeah.
Man.
because of that. So I had to see it later.
Mhm.
But I did get to see it though, so don't worry.
Yeah,
But
or
while you were at TIFF, though, the only thing you knew about it was that one image.
That one.
David, for the
one
listener,
picture.
is doing a perfect impression of the picture. And now, can I
It was
make
like
requests? Can I make requests?
Yeah.
Can you do Leo at the Flowers Moon
Right,
table?
right.
He's
No,
also.
isn't he looking up?
Oh, is he looking
Yes.
up? I
And
can't
the
remember.
hands are more forward.
It was a
let's retake that.
Aren't the hands more forward on the table? They're deeper.
You're correct. You're referring to, again, this is somewhat deep lore for our listeners who might not know.
One publicity still.
God.
Two movies that had, for what felt like a year,
Yes.
only one publicity
Only one
still.
photo.
Now, the Killers of the Flower Moon one was fine. It was Leo and Lily Gladstone sitting at a table. It was a
Yeah.
little boring, but there was nothing that odd about it. The Whale one, of course, was just, Brendan Fraser in this makeup going like,
Big old head.
and you're just, and like, it's called The Whale. And at a certain point, you're like, this is starting to feel insulting.
It was just that one image, and then they revealed the poster, and the poster was that image with text over it. That was the funniest heighten to just be like, and the poster is once again just the look.
Just the look.
The look.
Okay, so let's get the Flowers of the Killer Moon face one more time.
And also, it's called Killers of the Flower Moon. But
Oh,
they actually
fuck.
changed it to Flowers of the Killer Moon.
Yeah.
Do you say cut on yourself?
That's the horror version.
That's the live, die, repeat.
And then, of course, there's my favorite movie, Flowers of the Lazy Old Moon.
Oh.
Lazy old
Here's a
moon.
conversation I want to pin that we're gonna have. Which of these fake movies
Great
looks
question.
the best?
Okay,
Like, would
so
you most want to watch?
all right, so let's talk about.
I said pin for later, but I guess we're doing it now.
for later.
David's trying to skirt the impression.
What's the impression I have to
Do
do?
the
I'm sorry.
table.
Oh, let me get the image.
Okay.
I want to really study it.
Just
I
trying
want
to
to
be
like
really
bring in my like
laser-focused
sense
on this
memory.
episode.
Okay, yeah.
God
So
bless you,
it's this.
Sharon.
It's this.
Oh, the hands are under the table?
They're under the table, and then I'm gonna do Lily Gladstone now.
Yeah, okay. Good. Right. And she's kind of
She's
bundled.
got a shawl
Yeah.
over.
David's head kind of,
It
like
was-
cradled
Yeah.
himself.
She looks
That-
cold and
that
he looks
scene,
sweaty.
Yeah.
The thing is, and then I saw that movie really early.
Yeah.
Because of Cannes.
Yeah.
And it was the Leo pointing at the screen meme when they're sitting at the fucking table. You're like, yes, here they are.
Our buddy Siddhant, past and future
Siddhant,
guest,
yes, absolutely.
wrote a really good piece about how interesting that shot is in the context of the
Yes!
movie.
I mean, that scene in the movie is
Yeah.
so good.
right. And is so different than what, as a like
Right.
fucking
Yeah.
online pilled movie obsessive, you would imagine the scene was
And then-
after 18 months of seeing it.
The scene in The
Right.
Whale, too, where he goes like this,
Yeah.
was also so good.
Wait, again.
80% of the
When he
movie.
gave the look.
Again. One more.
You know what movie blows goats?
The Whale.
The Whale.
The Whale is one of those movies that, like, my children will come to me decades from now
Yes.
being like, is this fake? That this won awards? Like people melted gold and put them in casts?
It is an anecdote I've repeated so many times, but my younger sister, Romley, who was born in
I
1998,
love this anecdote.
watched American Beauty for the first time like 5 years ago in the pandemic and was like, can you explain to me how this happened? Was like, I'm just actually befuddled. Explain to me what I was too young to understand. This came out and was a box office sensation and swept the Oscars in one of the most iconic years of all time in American cinema.
Well, it's like, what do you mean? American Beauty, it's got a great pitch. So there's this pedophile.
And what are you talking about? out, Griffin. I mean, like, all she needs to do is just watch a plastic bag
Yes.
drifting in the wind.
Yes.
It is so funny. They're like, what's the A plot? And it's like, he wants to fuck a high schooler. And you're like, oh, Jesus. Okay, what's the B plot? These teens get really into a plastic bag. They're like, are you fucking kidding me? This is the B plot.
Like, this guy wants to fuck his daughter's friend.
I don't know.
Oh, so that's the conflict? No, he gets what he wants.
No, that's the goal.
What's
That's
the
the
conflict?
quest.
He's miserable that he has a career in a nice house.
I have no notes. I don't know what you're laughing about.
He gets shot at the end, and the audience cheers. No, they cried.
No, they're sad about it. Yeah.
We mourned the death of a hero. Lester Berman said what we were all afraid to say.
Best picture.
And it's also so weird
People were yelling that. Best picture, best
that
picture.
he like jacks off to fucking roses. What a weird guy.
So weird.
What a weird movie.
Doesn't he say? Does he
That
say?
movie has so much masturbation in it.
Does he say bashing the bishop or choking
Something like he has the whole bit where he says like 5 like
when Annette Bening walks
euphemisms.
in on him in the shower?
I was doing this, doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I can't remember what they were, but yeah. Saying hi to my father.
Spanking the monkey.
It's sort of like an Austin Powers moment.
Yeah, it is.
Right? Where he's like, oh.
And of course, he would later become Dr. Evil in many ways. Hail Caesar. It's a
You ever seen
2016
American
film.
Beauty?
Yes, I have. I feel like we're bumming people out. We keep going down.
Lazy old moon.
Okay, yes, let's get back to this. When I'm on the lazy old moon sequence, I am like, it would be really fun to watch this whole movie. It's hardest to imagine the scenes around it, where I'm like, this could go anywhere. I don't.
What do you think happens?
I don't know because it
Do you
feels
think
like
he
such-
lassos the moon?
I hope so.
Hope he lassos the
Oh
moon.
my God.
I hope he lassos that
What?
damn moon.
So I opened the dossier, which we can start looking at for
Written
Hail
by
Caesar,
one
written
J.J.
by
Bursch.
J.J. Bursch.
JJ.
And then I got a chat notification within the dossier from J.J. Bursch saying,
How are you
say
liking
hi
the
to
dossier?"
Shirley for me.
Tell him he's fired. Tell him that Shirley has fired him.
Hey, Jage. Miss you, Jage.
What's the name of the No Dames movie?
Uh,
Do they? It's the
homoeroticism.
because we have Hail Caesar, the Tale of the Christ.
Uh-huh.
We have right. There's I guess the main ones are Lazy Old Moon, the No Dames film, the new Lawrence film that Hobie's doing.
I'm trying to find the names of all of the.
And then the aquatic.
Merrily
Oh,
We
yeah.
Dance is
Esther
one
Williams
of them.
one.
I think Merrily We Dance is the Tatum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd assume.
Right, which is that sort of an Anchors Away or On the Town type
Yes.
movie. Obviously, Hail Caesar is sort of like a Ben-Hur movie.
To me, that is the most transcendent sequence in the movie.
Which
It
is, sorry?
No
Dames?
Dames
It's
is
very
like
fun.
every time I watch that, it is like Nirvana for me. When we will talk about it, in that it smells like Teen Spirit. But I am most interested in the idea of watching 90 minutes of Lazy Old Moon, whereas watching the No Dame sequence, I'm like, yeah, that's a full meal.
Yeah.
And I think it is that I want to know like how the relationships evolve in Lazy Old Moon, and what the conflict
I like the
is
old
gonna
guy
be.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a portly
He's
restaurateur.
Yeah.
It's always good.
I like here's okay. Going off of what you're saying, Shirley, I could imagine the plot of that movie being a crazy old guy,
Lazy old moon, crazy old guy.
right? Tells
Okay.
Hobie,
All right. So,
this
okay.
dang moon keeps eluding me. Don't you have a good lasso?
I
You have to
found-
bring the moon back to me. And Hobie's character has to figure out how to satisfy his demand, right? And then in
That's
the
beautiful.
process, like fucking romances his daughter or whatever. Sings
So
a couple
okay, the
times.
movies are Hail Caesar, A Tale of the Christ,
Uh-huh.
which is obviously Ben-Hur, Quo Vadis, those kinds of movies.
Sure.
Lazy Old Moon, a classical, what Variety used to call an O-tuner, I think, which is like
Oh, sure.
basically like a
Singing cowboy
cowboy
movie.
film with music, exactly. Sort of a Roy Rogers type movie.
Yes.
Jonah's Daughter is the name of the mermaid Busby Berkeley
That's
type
right.
movie.
Yeah,
Yes.
with the whale.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think
Did
there's
someone say the whale?
Do the look.
I think there's literally a movie called $1 Million Mermaid. That's one of those Busby Berkeley.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Esther Williams.
Obviously, On the Town Anchors Away is sort of being done as that movie doesn't have a title, so No Dames I think is the
Okay,
best.
we'll make that the functional.
Merrily We Dance is the kind of Lubitchy, society comedy,
Mhm.
right? It's complicated. Pretty funny joke.
That moment is another moment in this film that almost tears me up.
Oh, like the final hammer of that joke dropping an hour later, basically, or 45 minutes.
It's
whatever.
funny, and I love how they the patience and also the sort of circuitous way they resolve that storyline. But also, I'm like, I actually find it kind of emotionally profound. Like, I think that is, not to get ahead of things, but like, especially that scene is Frances McDormand, right? Wife of one Coen brother, playing an editor, the position that the other Coen wife occupies, right? These two ultimate wife guys who love making movies with their wives, right? And love movies. And you have this scene where, like, she is playing an editor, showing this footage, and in it, I think they are quietly capturing the magic of, like, you have seen this fucking disastrous day of shooting where you're like, how is anything good going to come out of this, right? And they can't get this fucking line out. And even before the hammer blow of, oh, they cracked it. They figured out what his movie star persona is. You need to adjust it around him, but if you change the line, he'll nail that delivery so fucking hard, and it will convey something greater than what was the original plan. The sort of, like, living text of, like, what they say that, like, movies get written 3 times, right? They're written on paper, they're written on the shoot, and then written in the edit.
Right.
And that's, like, a thing that I think the Coens, like, love, that feels, like, magical about movies. But also, in the assembly she's showing him, before you get to that line, you see 2 shots of him closing the door and him walking from the door to the couch, that when you see them play out earlier in the movie, you're like, this is horrendous. His walk is so awkward. He's doing this cowboy walk. He's, like, clearly self-conscious about how big the door was, and he looks behind him. And in that moment, it's like, these are laughing films of, like, this guy can't pull this off. And in the way that they edit it, it suddenly has a new context, where him looking back at the door behind him is because they placed the insert shot of the briefcase in the hallway before it. And his awkward walk, when framed from, like, shoulders up, feels like nervousness rather than this guy doesn't know how to walk. And, like, that magic of it, and he doesn't, like, fucking, Brolin doesn't overplay it. He doesn't have some tears in his eyes moment. He doesn't go, that's the magic of the movies. But I do see on his face, he's like, yeah, these things, you give them time and they work out. I was right, you know?
It's true.
Yes.
And then she nearly chokes to death.
Well, no, it happens right before. That's the thing. He saves her from death, and then he sees it's complicated. It's a miracle moment.
Well, so much of the magic that has worked in this movie is sort of serendipitous. It's not Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie is often kind of like, oh, that figured itself out. You know, sort of Burn After Reading adjacent in a way.
That fucking moment at the table too with Alison Pill where he's like, oh, that problem solved itself.
Right, exactly.
Like, I find that moment very moving. And it ties the whole film together for me, right?
Yes.
It's like at home, at work. He has all these things that he needs to take care of, or he thinks he needs to take care of. But it's kind of like the magic of the movies that you're talking about also kind of bleeds into just the magic of working in the movies.
Yes.
And it all works itself out.
It does.
But does it without someone caring about it?
That's Shirley. That's the X factor, right? Like the moral conflict at the center of this movie, at least within the Eddie Mannix character and his arc, right? Is the like, is this job killing me? Am I like babysitting lunatic children all day and like putting out insane fires for something that feels frivolous, right? At a time where like Hollywood is mostly into like distraction entertainment, escapist entertainment, light fare because people need to like forget their troubles, you know?
Got you guys this character poster.
David, pin in that. We're going to talk about that for, I do not exaggerate, 45 minutes. Pin in that. But
that's also the magic of the movies. David's doing the whale again. It really doesn't work for a podcast.
I know, but it's so funny when he does it. And by the way, guys, we're not going to video. So
wouldn't be as funny on video.
It wouldn't. Yeah. I agree. It's the theater of the mind. Eddie Mannix is
a real guy.
Constantly, but also
a semi-fictionalized version of a real guy.
This movie is not attempting to represent the real Eddie Mannix at all, but they're using the name of a guy who was this type of guy. Who's played by Bob Hoskins in Hollywoodland.
That's right.
Hollywoodland.
Yes.
I once had I had a birthday party at a Lowe's theater, and we watched Hollywoodland. And there was nothing coming out that weekend.
How
when
were
was that,
Lowe's theaters?
5 or 6 or something? Like, when was that?
My
Don't
memory,
laugh at
was
me.
very young. Yes.
We're not very young. What were you,
but
like
my
18?
memory is that all Lowe's theaters in New
Mhm.
York became AMC's
Yes, they did.
around
Yeah.
that time.
This one did. This was in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay.
And I turned to look at my friends,
Yeah.
and 4 of them
2006.
Okay.
had fallen asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 out of 4. Your 4
How dare
friends.
you?
Wait, so 2006, Shirley, I'm gonna
Do the
say
math.
you were what, 17? How old? 18?
15.
15. Jesus, you're such a young person.
But
Although
this is
it's not
also-
like now, and Shirley's having to deal with this now at the
What?
Atlantic,
Uh-oh.
where I
Oh,
meet
yes.
people, and I'm like, and they're grown people.
Yeah.
Fully grown. You know,
This
they
is the
work
worst.
with
Grown.
me.
This is the worst.
And
They're
then I'm like,
adults.
wait, when were you born? And they're like, you know, well, I'm this, or they say their age. And I'm like, were you born after 9/11? And they're like, no. I was born 2 months before
Yeah.
9/11. And I'm like,
I remember the first
We're
I
time
was in a crib.
I remember the first time I had a conversation with a child who had
Sure.
been born after 9/11,
Right.
and I had the thought of, oh, it's crazy that children born after 9/11 can now string together sentences.
You should meet my
Like, I was
sister.
like,
And now they
talking to
like,
an 8-year-old, and I was like, it's crazy that someone born after 9/11 can be old enough to walk on their own 2 feet without
Mhm.
support.
Mhm.
And now, yes, they're taking over our workforce.
They have their own jobs. They
Yes.
have their own opinions. I'm sorry, we're
Right.
the last generation allowed to have
Yeah.
opinions, right?
Yep.
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
should, right, exactly. They should be silent
They're
until
trying to
I
engage in the marketplace of ideas.
exit. Back.
They have a role.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you saw, wait, so you said 15?
Uh-huh.
You saw Hollywood Land when you
There
were
was
15?
nothing else. I'm
David, this is why Shirley's
has
friends
to have
with
been
us.
I'm telling
This
you.
is why Shirley is on our show.
I'm
true.
telling you.
This is some real blanky coded shit.
But that
To
was,
be like
Land.
high school Hollywood Land birthday party.
I was like, we're gonna go see Hollywood Land.
Do you like
Yeah.
it when Adrian Brody's tired?
Yes.
Oh, he's so tired in that movie.
Because it's like that, the jacket,
Mhm, mhm.
Cadillac Records, Brothers Bloom, like this run of like, well, he's still an Oscar winner where he
Yes.
has to play a tired guy.
But don't you love Ben Affleck trying to be Superman, trying to do
I have never seen Hollywood Land.
Oh,
Is
jeez.
it any good?
I remember.
I remember Affleck was the one people talked
I
about.
remember not liking Affleck's performance in it,
Cool.
liking everyone else in it, thinking the movie was overall kind of a snooze. Not bad, but
You
just
were one of my friends who fell asleep.
a little
One of the
close.
four.
I might have taken a quick nap in the middle of that.
Now, Cheryl,
Uh-huh.
your birthday's early September. I know this because we often celebrate
Yes.
your birthday at TIFF.
Yes, we do.
So I'm looking
Which is
at
very nice.
movies you could have seen
Yeah.
then. Just doing a
Mhm.
little sort of micro box office
Oh
game.
no! Oh no!
You could have gone to see The Covenant.
You think I want to see?
Come
The
on.
Covenant
Isn't
my-
that like Hot Boys doing magic or something?
Yeah, Stephen Strait.
Sure.
Well, are you saying that Ben Affleck's not a hot boy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Sebastian Stan, you could have gotten on this Stan
I wasn't
train
on the.
early.
I know. I missed that train.
That was one of the poutiest movies of 2006.
That was, but that's when the Sebastian Stan train was like a guy operating a hand, right? It's like, so now the
It was the
Sebastian
blind
Stan
pushcart
train,
man from O Brothers.
exactly, is like a sleek bullet train that
Yeah.
everyone's like, get me on that train. Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Fennessy put it so well. Beyond just like him having these 2 movies last year that were such good showcases for actual acting,
Right.
he was like, Sebastian Stan shows up in Thunderbolts, and you're like, is this guy James Dean now? This is
Griffin.
the 15th time he's
Griffin.
played Bucky, and suddenly I'm like, this
Griffin.
dude is fucking liquid gold.
Exactly how I felt watching Thunderbolts.
Yes.
And like he's in the first chunk where
Yeah.
he's playing sad Congressman
Sure.
Bucky, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of funny, but like whatever.
Just
And
on a
then
fucking
he
motorcycle.
rides in on a motorcycle
Mhm.
looking like the Terminator.
Yeah.
He finally has his own theme.
Yeah.
His only theme before then in all his movies is just like a scream because
Yeah.
he's the Winter Soldier, right?
I
So it's
was
like,
like,
a, "Ah!"
Did Sebastian
You like
Stan become? Yeah, really nice burn on that mic. Did Sebastian Stan become?
and I'm like, I'm
the
excited.
CEO of Minute Maid? Because this guy has all the fucking juice.
Oh, he really wanted to get that out. I just
did
could
it.
not believe that like my blood pressure was
Yes.
going up at the sight of Sebastian Stan.
Yes.
After years of me
Wow.
being like, yeah, C plus B minus on that guy.
Totally.
Like, yeah,
See,
like,
then
he's
you
all
missed
right.
the train. I got on the train with Gossip Girl.
But then did you ever get off
and
the
Kings.
train?
Did I? No, I didn't
Kings.
get off the train. I never got off the
Kings.
train. I was on the train during Once Upon a Time. I'm so sorry.
I was talking to
Uh,
past and future
oh,
guest John Gabris, friend of the show, who I believe has a February birthday or January birthday. I'm a February birthday, but September is similar. Where in our childhoods, it was like you are guaranteed.
Slim pickings.
If you are a movie kid and your default is, can we do a movie birthday? You're going to go see some bullshit. And there was one year, I'm sure I've said this on the show, but despite being a February kid, in 2002, I was like, I'm going to make my birthday Spider-Man. And people were like, that's May. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to.
Right.
just make
you're
it
like
work.
the Queen of England, where
Just
you're
get
like, I have
time
2
shifted.
birthdays now.
Yep,
Right, yeah.
yep. I'm just saving my birthday party until Spider-Man comes out.
Roll time.
You could have
Yeah.
seen the 3rd weekend of the inspirational football drama Invincible.
Mm.
Not a bad
Damn.
movie. Saw it on a
Not bad.
plane.
Oh
Not-
no, I'm so sad I missed Invincible.
Directed by Erickson Core.
Yeah.
You never forget a
That's right.
name
For
like
my
Erickson.
You
birthday.
never do. He sounds like a sort of thing you have to buy for your car.
Yes.
You're going to need an Erickson core. Your battery is low, is burning out.
You're not going to find a film that I'm going to be like, yeah.
Crank?
Damn. Oh, wait, I saw Crank.
So you'd already seen it.
You'd
It
already
came
seen
out the
Crank.
week before.
I had
You
seen
couldn't
Crank
Yeah.
with
the
my dad.
Illusionist with
I had seen The
with the little
Illusionist.
orange
Yeah.
tree.
Yes. I had seen all other options.
Right.
I don't know. I thought I was getting on a horse that would run far. I don't know why.
There was,
You know what I
there
mean?
was the
You were like-
mild, quiet kind of like Affleck
Yeah.
back.
My friends
you
will
know.
thank me when Affleck is accepting an Academy Award 7 months from now.
They will be
No, it
so
wasn't-
sad
no, no,
that
no,
they're
no.
missing 15 minutes of this.
No, because it's 2006. It's not. It's that he makes Gone Baby Gone the next year, and everyone's kind of like, okay, Affleck back.
Yes, but I'm saying
He didn't
the,
get an Oscar.
the
7
buzz
months
in the
later.
summer.
Oh, it was maybe he'll
I'm
get
saying
a sneak an
Shirley's
Oscar.
logic
nom.
was-
Thank
right.
you.
My friends will judge me now, but when he wins the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, they'll be like, Shirley?
They're going to be like, she knows her
She knows
shit.
her shit.
So I'm going to open the dossier.
Instead, I
just
had
right
to
now.
apologize to them.
Yeah, I think all of us in this room, Ben probably not, but the rest of us have had that screening we dragged our friends to,
Yep.
where afterwards you had to actively be like, I'm sorry that I made you come to this.
Yep.
For me, it was Alexander.
Uh-huh.
Oof.
Like I got a lot of people ready, and they were ready to feed me to a mob after
Yeah.
that. Like they throw me to the lions.
I had already seen Hulk, and I told all my middle school friends, you don't understand, movie of the summer. I'm going again. We all got to go.
right.
And I truly, I cannot believe I made it out of that night alive.
They were all just as angry
What
as the titular
fuck
character.
are you talking about? Was the energy?
In 1998, I'm opening the dossier. Ethan Cohen said,
I'm
to
going to
the
finish
Los
my
Angeles-
Annie Manx point later. I'm just pinning that along
fair
the
enough. I'm
poster.
sorry.
I just want
We
the
got
listener
so
to know
off
I
track.
haven't forgotten.
Told the Los Angeles Times that he and his brother had done some writing assignments before, adapting other people's scripts on an unattributed basis. The Coens say, we don't really want to put our names on stuff like that because we're not really in control of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like movie fans know that occasionally the Coens have done a pass on a movie you liked that
Much
they
like
didn't get any credit.
PTA.
Much
Right.
like PTA.
Where now there's more stuff he gets credit for, but I think there's a lot of shit where people are like, PTA, can you spend a weekend and just make
Right.
this dialogue more
Just,
interesting?
Yeah. In the mid to early to mid 2010s, they start to get some credit for some of these. So you got Gambit, of course, which was eventually released, sort of.
Yeah.
You have the Angelina Jolie film Unbroken, which
Yes.
they have a credit on.
Bridge of Spies, of course.
Bridge of Spies, which supposedly they really just did the sort of chunk in the middle,
Yes.
where he's in
The
Berlin.
Russian, yeah.
Right.
Berlin, Jesus. Yes.
Yes. And Unbroken, they came aboard late after Jolie was attached to Angelina Jolie directed that movie. And she basically was like, I want you guys to come aboard. I want the film to have structure and wit and playfulness between the men, which is very interesting that, like, I don't think that movie's very good, but that Jolie, who I think is a more talented filmmaker than some credit her for,
Yes.
had the sort of like knowledge of like, here's what needs strengthening in the movie. And weirdly, I think the Coen brothers will work for
I'm
it.
not hiring you to do the Coen brothers thing. I'm
Right.
recognizing that you are multi-skilled and you're good technicians, and I want you to just help crack this.
Yeah.
Of course, Lady Killers and Tolerable Cruelty both start out as assignment jobs for them that they weren't going to direct and then become.
We've
Yes.
talked about those
Yeah.
movies already.
Friend.
Brad, and she mentions that she knew them partly because Brad Pitt had done Burn After Reading when she was with him when that happened,
Yeah, and I was
and
checking
she was with
notes, and that marriage ended perfectly.
and she was with Billy Bob
It was
Thornton.
Unbroken, yes.
People forget she was with Billy Bob Thornton when he did Man Who Wasn't There. So she had experienced the
David is
Coen's process
pounding the
twice.
table.
I don't want to be crass, but I'm just quickly imagining a life in which you wake up every morning next to Angelina Jolie.
Sure.
You go to set and film The Man Who Wasn't There.
Right. You have to play Cuck of the Year.
And then you wrap production for the day, and you go home and you have sex with
No,
Angelina
you can't.
Jolie.
I'm sure he could not. It would have broken his character into a billion pieces.
I think Billy Bob's got the
can't-
range.
Yeah, he does.
I think that's what makes Billy Bob is that he could do that. That he would rap for the day, take off his toupee, put his vial of blood necklace back on,
Now, around when they're
and then go to Pound Town.
I don't want a picture.
no picture it.
Picture it.
Oh.
Around the time that they're working on Hail Caesar, these are certain things. That's why JJ, I think, is giving us this color. This is the kind of stuff they're working on around Hail Caesar.
Yeah, and this is a nice kind of swan song for JJ as he's fired.
Yeah, exactly. They claimed that they were working on a sort of sword and sandals movie. I always wondered if that was a joke or not, because obviously this movie has
it's a half
sort of
joke.
parody of a sword and sandals movie in it.
Sure.
They also claimed they were working on a musical where the main character was going to be an opera singer. Never has been realized. Another thing that happened around this time is that Suburbicon, which is a script that they had written back in 1986, essentially, starts to spool up with George Clooney in the director's chair. And George Clooney added a little twist to it. Poop. Just
Hung
say
shoe,
it bad.
hung shoe. A movie I've still never seen.
You never seen Suburbicon?
No.
It is insane.
Yeah.
Because it is half a Coen Brothers script and half a George Clooney script.
Yeah.
And the Coen Brothers script is like, you're like, yeah, this is like a Coen Brothers movie. It's
Yeah.
like, dumb gangsters.
Yeah.
Then the other half is this like really somber tale about like integration and like, it's so weird. Such a weird movie.
It is just funny that I feel like, right, this era of their names actually getting credited on these things they wrote kept having this juice of like, holy shit, the Coen brothers wrote Unbroken? Is this going to win Best Picture? And then people saw it and they were like,
Oh.
they clearly were like
Right.
skilled hired hands on this. This does not have Coen brothers identity.
They screwed some nuts on
Right.
this movie.
And then like
They did not.
Suburbicon and Gambit, people were like, oh, I guess these scripts only work if they direct them themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And like Bridge of Spies, which we love, as you said, it's like they were kind of pinch hitters.
Suburbicon, I remember being one of those when I was still at EW.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is sharing trade secrets. Maybe it is.
Sure.
But it's like when we would do the fall movie preview, summer movie preview, whatever, insert season here, movie preview. Some people would see some of the films in advance. And I remember this one because of the pedigree. It had a little bit more room on the page.
Mhm.
And then as the
Damon,
buzz...
Clooney. Oh,
As
yeah.
the buzz died down, it got smaller and smaller. And I remember it was a tiny little piece of that
Just a
preview.
little circle.
It was
Tiny little circle.
It was one of those movies where you were looking at the fall preview and you were like, I don't know if this is going to win Best Picture, but I am guaranteed to have a good time. You're like, Clooney's
Right.
directing
The
a
cast
Coen
is
script with
good.
Julianne Moore, Matt Damon, and Oscar
Right.
Isaac.
Right.
I will have a blast. And everyone came back and was just like, huh, weirdly anti-fun.
Mhm.
The
No blast.
opposite of interesting.
Yeah. So back when George Clooney first works with the Coen brothers in a little movie called Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
They sort of fall in love. They're like, this guy is so good at
Yeah.
playing idiots. We love idiots.
They match really
We
well
have a
with
movie
him.
star who unlocks financing immediately.
Also true.
Yes.
And they, at that point, apparently tossed off an idea to him that's kind of like, what if like a matinee film idol who's making like a Ben-Hur type movie gets kidnapped?
Sure.
That was sort of the intent. That was like the entirety of the pitch.
There was also, at some point, they were teasing, because they do Intolerable Cruelty, which once again, like, kind of comes together weirdly sideways, and they plug Clooney into it. And they're like, now that we've done 2, we need to complete our Idiot trilogy.
Mhm.
And they kept saying the 3rd movie in the Idiot trilogy will be Hail Caesar.
Right.
They had the title.
They did. They
And
always had that title.
People would push them on it. They were like, it's basically a 1-sentence idea. There's no script. We haven't really cracked it, but we like the idea. And the other thing that would always get thrown out was like, he's in a traveling company doing a production of Julius Caesar.
That is another idea that they definitely
Right.
explained as like, maybe that's what Hail Caesar is. I feel
Yes.
like you said, they were sort of like Hail Caesar set in past, acting involved,
They wanted
Clooney stupid.
right him playing
had,
an
like,
old-timey
things.
dumb star
Right.
in some kind of period piece.
Apparently, another thing they pitched at that time was called Adolf Terry Hitler, an alternate universe comedy in which Hitler's parents emigrated to LA in the 1900s and their son grows up to be a Hollywood big shot and the eventual manager of a Hitler agency.
There's shit like that where I wonder if they're trolling us, or if on their cloud drive there is the greatest script
Right. They like
ever
did-
written in full.
or they wrote 30 pages and they were like, what are we doing? And then
Yeah.
those 30 pages are very funny.
No,
but
no, guys. I think they were just, they're brothers playing Mad Libs.
Adolf
This is
Terry
true.
I think they
Hitler.
were having a
little
great
bit.
little
They're-
sleepover.
They
A
start
little
generating.
sleepover.
Right.
Yeah.
And they would always tell George that his character would, quote, be a gas-baggy fathead. And for some reason that really appealed to him.
Yeah.
Ethan, gas-baggy fathead is George's forte.
Mm.
So Hail Caesar would come up a lot. But of course, what they call the Numbskull trilogy, they end up making Intolerable Cruelty. And then they do Burn After Reading.
And people
after,
are like, I guess Hail Caesar was never a thing.
After Burn After Reading, George said, like, have I played my last idiot for you guys? You know, it's sort of like, but it was always on IMDb. Clooney notes this.
Yeah.
That because I guess they talked about it enough, there was literally just kind of like, Hail Caesar, Joel Cohen, Ethan Cohen, George Clooney, no plot, no nothing.
Yeah.
And so finally, they sit down to write the thing. Because they're like, everyone's going to get too old anyway. And they describe it as a movie about the movie business and life and religion and faith in the movie business. And they eventually decided to make Eddie Mannix the main character. And George is like an important character. But he's like, Josh Brolin is the lead of the movie.
Yes. It is funny how this film, with its all-star cast, just settled its billing order by alphabetical, and yet that alphabetical ends up being
Brolin,
Clooney,
right.
Ehrenreich.
I mean, it's serendipity outside of the movie and in the movie, right?
Totally. But it's like the three guys are in the right positions. Yeah.
And you're right.
I just always, it's kismet.
So, the characters they create, Scarlett Johansson's playing kind of Master Williams. Alden Ehrenreich is like Tim Holt. Channing Tatum is like gayer Gene Kelly.
Yeah.
Clooney is kind of like a Robert.
Gay communist Gene Kelly.
Right.
One
Robert
of the coolest
Taylor.
movie star moves for Channing Tatum at this moment of so much heat
God
to be
bless
like,
him.
I'm doing deep supporting for the Coens. It is only 3 scenes, but one of those scenes is going to require months of choreography,
Right.
and I'm playing a gay communist.
Yeah.
He's just like, king shit, I want to explore stuff. I'm not like trying to preserve a like safe career.
I mean, the months of training, because he wasn't a tap dancer, right?
Right.
Like, and tap, like, so he does hip hop dancing per
Sure,
my
he
knowledge
was,
of step
he
up
was the
films.
Step Up boy.
Yes.
But yeah, tap, I mean,
Stick it.
step
Step
up.
up.
Stick it
I
is
always forget which
gymnastics.
which, yes.
You don't stick it in dancing.
You're right.
Stick It's Messy Paragram and his
And we love
Right.
her.
5-star masterpiece.
Good movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we love gymnastics.
We do.
Yeah, right. So he spent months training in tap, and tap is like, I mean, I'm not a dancer. I take like adult ballet classes.
Hey now.
I'm in Hobby City over here.
Okay.
And it's just kind of like tap is sort of impossible to get within a couple months, but look at this guy, he did it. Here's the thing, right? Like tap is like, the skill of tap is relatively invisible. We do not have to go down this tangent, but like tap is one of those forms where it's kind of like you can't really tell what the skill is when you're watching tap dancing. You hear the rhythms and things like that, but it's just like, it just doesn't translate well as like a really skillful piece of, I don't know, like a form of dancing.
Well, the magic trick is that especially I think how it's been historically used in American movies is that it is this kind of like quietly graceful, off the cuff, I'm doing nothing sort of, like that's the Gene
just
Kelly
soft
magic.
chewing around. Yeah.
Right. And it's like you have to put so much work into getting it perfect and then additional work into doing it without showing any effort.
Right.
And it's like even beyond him having to learn tap on top of like what were obviously trained like dance muscles and the right brain for it and all of that, this sequence is so complicated, and just plays out in fucking like elegant wide shots.
And he sells it like every second of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like
and you're just like, that guy had to do a ton of fucking work for a really small part.
I'm like, this is Olympic level where I want to give Channing Tatum a medal. I want to give him so many medals.
Yes.
I believe every second of that choreography because yes, he trained until he got it right, but at the same time, it's like there's joy and delight in his face. The whole performance comes together, and that is so hard to do.
But this is the second to last good movie he made.
So this is what I want to call out. So this was. He was at this point of like ascension.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Save for like a Jupiter ascending or two.
We love those.
He was on a fucking masterpiece.
Right.
But he was on such a hot run, and it was like, this is the guy.
Yes.
And then he makes this.
Yes. In 2016. In 2017, he does Logan Lucky, which I think he's great in.
But weirdly flops.
It doesn't do that well.
And then he kind of disappears for like 6 years.
No. Kingsman the Golden Circle, which he's bad in, and that movie's bad. In 28, no, he's bad.
I think he's good in it. I think that movie is so insane because they clearly wanted him and he was too busy.
Right.
And so his character like shows up, then is on ice, and then comes back at the end.
His character's his character's name is Tequila.
Yes.
You just said he's on ice.
The Pedro
I just want to put an asterisk.
10
on
comedy
it.
points.
Oh,
But the
that's all.
Pedro Pascal character is clearly supposed to be him as well, and instead the movie does this like
You've done this rant on this
Okay,
podcast
whatever.
before, which is fine.
Do it again.
In 2018,
Thank
of
you.
course, he is Miko.
Because Zendaya is Meichi.
Correct. In Smallfoot. And then, yes, after that, it's basically like cameo and Free Guy is pretty much it until, of course, he returns with Dog.
in the
And
director's
The
show.
Lost City,
Right, which is a big hit.
which is
yeah,
a
he's
hit and
the-
charming.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was like,
And
okay,
Bullet
is Channing like got it
Train,
back? Bullet
he's
Train's
at
a
the end.
cameo. Where yeah,
And then Magic Mike's Last Dance, which is charming.
a movie I love, but really kind of belly flopped and was not well received.
And then Fly Me to the Moon, which is unfortunately not very good.
Respect him for trying that, and
Me
he
too,
is
me
woefully
too.
miscast.
He's quite miscast. And then he was like, I'm about to go rabbit. He's Gambit.
Wait, do that again?
Yes.
Like, what does he say? What's the line? We're about to make a name for ourselves. Whatever his thing is, the thing he does.
He blinked twice.
Yeah, I
Mm.
don't.
A
He
movie
really
that doesn't
shouldn't
quite work.
have.
I think he's good now.
He's totally fine in it. I really hated that movie.
I love him so much, but it is interesting that this felt like weirdly him doing this movie felt like such a show of power
Mhm.
that it's like I'm so above it I can do anything I want. I'm not worried about the game. And then he kind of like completely like loses it, disappears, like waxes and wanes. Lost City felt like, oh, he's back in the pocket doing the thing everyone loves from him, and it was such a hit after years of no comedies connecting that it was like, okay, so he's unstoppable again. And then once again,
He's
sort of-
stoppable.
Yeah. But I watched this movie and I'm like, this guy's like one of the best raw movie
I
star
know.
talents we have.
All right, but okay. I'm
Anyway.
back to the dossier.
Yes. Back to
Alden
this.
Ehrenreich famously discovered when Steven Spielberg saw him on a video made for a friend's bar mitzvah.
Correct. It was a comedy
mitzvah.
sketch that played at a bat mitzvah.
His initial big role is in Tetro, a normal movie directed by Francis Ford Coppola that's normal.
Mhm.
Highly normal film. And then he's also in Twixt, another normal one from
That's,
Coppola.
I believe, a small part, although I haven't seen that one.
He's also in Beautiful Creatures.
that was
That's
sort
him
of,
and Zoe Deutsch being beautiful
no,
creatures.
it's
It's Alice
uh,
Englert.
yes, it's Jane Campion's daughter. Um,
yes, beautiful
right.
creatures.
that was an attempt to find him
he's
his
like the lead of that.
Twilight.
Right. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
he's the Edward
Mhm.
Cullen, and I think it's like Southern Gothic fucking witches or some shit.
He has a smallish role in Stoker, being a naughty boy.
Quite good.
He's good in that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. He's in Blue Jasmine. I honestly do not remember him in that.
He
I
is.
just saw that one time.
I want to say he's Kate Blanchett's son, or he's Alec Baldwin's son.
Right.
He's got like 2 scenes he's very good at.
And there was this film that the rules didn't apply to that he happens to
This
be
is
in
the
as
big
well,
thing.
which comes out this same year.
Because Spielberg identifies him and marches him into whatever big agency he marched him into, and was like, "I'm telling you, this is like the discovery of a century."
Which, I mean, Spielberg
Mhm.
kind of not wrong
At all.
based on what we've just been talking about.
The actual ability of this guy, right? But there
Right.
was this feeling of like he's got it, and I think I knew him a little bit back in the day. And it was very interesting because you could feel the sort of pressure he had on him
Mhm.
of everyone around him was like, you're the first DiCaprio we found in 20 years. We have to game this out really, really carefully. And so there were like big things that he would pass on or that they would tell him to pass on
Hmm.
because they were like, is that the move young DiCaprio would do?
Right.
We should position you for auteurs.
Oh,
but then
boy.
the auteur movies are like
Right.
Tetro and Rules and Apply,
Yeah.
which was this really coveted part.
Interesting movies.
But then they don't totally work. And then they
Nobody
were like,
sees them.
I guess we need to make you a teen idol so you have the box office cachet to get the better auteur movies. But then Beautiful Creatures is the one that doesn't work. He like
Yeah.
tested for Spider-Man multiple times. He tested for Harry Osborn. There was all this sort of like runner-up shit. And he had sort of gotten into this place where there had been like so much energy around him for a decade, but he hadn't actually done that much
Mhm.
because everyone around him was so overly cautious about what's the right move.
Yeah.
And it's better to do less.
They
Should've
put him in
done
bubble
Lazy
wrap.
Old Moon.
Well,
Like-
that's the magic of this movie being like, oh,
He can do
Alden's
it
in the
all.
Coen movie. And like it's just suddenly this miracle, like fully arrived, perfectly packaged, incredible, an incredible showcase role to launch a new talent. But
it's
also
about
he
a guy
just
who does it all.
nails it
Yeah,
so,
he's so funny.
fucking hard.
So charming.
Like one of the best movie performances of the decade, in my opinion. I believe I nominated as such.
I love his spaghetti lasso.
It's astonishing. And people were so fucking rude to him after Solo. And we're like, why the fuck did they hire this guy? Yes, but not his fault. He was hired by different directors
I know what happened
to make a
him,
different movie.
but he is bad.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But there was this energy of like, why'd they pick this fucking rando? And I want to be like, watch Hail Caesar, you ingrates. It was the wrong move for everyone involved.
Did you like him in Fair Play?
I never saw Fair Play.
I didn't like that.
I also didn't like that movie.
Did you like
He
him
was
in
all right.
Cocaine?
I actually liked him a tremendous amount in Cocaine Bear, a movie that I think is quite poor.
Yeah, I
It's
don't like
fairly
that movie.
rancid, and I think he's very good.
Did you like him in? There's the name of a senator here, like Oppenheimer. He's good in that.
I do think he's good, and he unfortunately gets saddled with the line.
Can I ask a question? What is Cocaine Bear about?
Oh, it's about
It's about a-
1940s.
Reaganism run amok.
Okay.
Guys, no,
okay.
it's about a whale.
It's about a do the look. It's gonna hit every time.
So, one note on Channing Tatum: he had auditioned for No Country for Old Men for the Josh Brolin part, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
He's like, I was far too young, but I was so desperate to just literally get in front of the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
Then I just wanted them to see me.
You know what I like also in a meta way
And
about
so it paid off years
the
later.
use of Tatum here
Yeah.
is that Tatum does feel like he's a bit of a Hobie, right?
Sure.
This guy that was sort of discovered without
Right,
the
right, right.
aspirations of
Like,
being a movie star.
Yes, real
And it
life
was just
Tatum.
like, well, just dance on camera. And then people were like, you're pretty good on camera. Can we give you words?
Yes.
And it was like, well, you're not a great actor yet, but there's something here. And then he just like built and built and built and developed and unlocked all these skills.
This film was shot in Los Angeles.
Mm.
Crazy.
Hollywood
never happens
land,
anymore.
They sometimes call it on Shirley's birthday.
Obviously, they needed it. They needed to use these,
Backlots
studios and
yeah.
backlots and all that fun stuff. It was a Universal release, although, of course, Capitol Pictures made it.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
They used the Warner Brothers lot, though, mostly, and Union Station and things like that.
Which was a real, I mean, it was made for a difficult shoot because Yakko, Wacko, and Dot kept escaping from the water tower and interrupting production.
Jesus, and the good feathers showed up.
Yeah.
And that squirrel with the purse.
Yeah.
What's her name?
And there were hippos who were a couple or some shit. It's funny that, like,
You know when you watch Animaniacs and it's like, it's the squirrel with the purse. I'm going to zone out for 5 minutes. I hope they do the pigeon soon.
The truth is, when they have the shot of the water tower, that's immediately where my mind goes.
Of course.
it is funny.
Fucking like you'll be watching Oppenheimer and it's like, or Tenet or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but where's Wacko?
It is funny that Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain were immediately and remain so sticky, and everyone
Right.
just forgets there were like 5 other segments.
Yeah. Goodfeathers was good. It
Goodfeathers
just got saved
was
me.
good, but I do think is undersung.
And then what was the name of the squirrel with the purse?
Slappy,
That's it.
I think.
I think
right?
you're right.
And she had a little kid or some shit.
Yeah.
Who'd she slap
I don't know.
with the purse? She hit someone with the purse. There was a sidekick.
George
Slappy
Clooney.
Squirrel,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
elderly, grouchy, cartoon tree squirrel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did she have a little squirrel?
Skippy Squirrel was the
Goddaughter or some shit.
So the Coen said this was shot on film, and they were
Yeah.
like, "This is probably the last movie we're gonna shoot on film."
Sad.
A little sad.
Mhm.
Bruno Delbonnel shot Inside Llewyn Davis, of course,
This is
and
them getting back to the Deke.
they go back to Mr. D. I think Deakins doesn't do Davis because of Skyfall.
Yes.
So this was Deakins returning to film celluloid for the first time in a while, and he said like we kind of had to. We felt like for the era that we're
And I'll say this. This is one of the only modern movies I can think of that actually somehow captures Technicolor feelings. Like
Right.
3-strip,
yeah.
Like when you watch old movies and you're like, why does fucking nothing look like this anymore? And Eggheads will explain to you the alchemical process that changed. And it's like, but why can't we with our digital technology make anything look this good again? And this movie like has so many different styles it has to emulate. And it emulates all of them better than I feel like most people are able to pull off with one focus.
They are the best.
Yes.
Tatum's dancing. The Coens offer him the part, and he's like, I don't sing or tap dance.
Mhm.
Like, I want to work with you so bad, but I just FYI, I do not sing or tap dance.
Mhm.
It became a 6-minute song with tap dancing. In the script, apparently, it's basically just like they do a song or whatever. So they tried to embrace his physicality, Shirley, that you're mentioning, because he can do things like flips and jumps,
Yeah.
right? So they try to put as much of that. And as Gatelli, the tap coach, what's his full name? Christopher Gattelli, says it's a really hard skill and he'd never tapped before ever. He learned 10 years of tap training in 3 months. It was the most amazing thing to watch.
I love him.
I'm just kind of like, is this Johan Santana throwing a no-hitter? Where, like,
Christopher,
I know nobody gets that reference, but after he did that, he was never the same pitcher ever again.
Yeah.
And it's not like Channing's gone, but
No.
it's almost like, did Channing overload himself learning to tap dance for Hail Caesar?
those
And
6
it's, like,
minutes
taken him
depleted him.
years to recover.
Truly, I'm like, it's, I don't know. I don't like in interviews with him, it doesn't feel like this guy lost it or he's washed. And I do feel like he talked about that, like, when he hit so big, when he had his like Magic Mike vow, what was it? There was the one year where he had 3 hits in a row.
Sure. Yeah.
$300 million hits in a row, and he became the most in-demand guy. And I think he's like, I worked too much. I like, all the opportunities came in, and I couldn't say no to anything, and I burnt myself out. And I like, my marriage fell apart, and I wasn't seeing my kid, and I was like, I want to take a break. And the break felt like a good mental health like space that then was maybe also elongated by pandemic and such. But I don't get the sense from him that like, oh, there's something he lost that he can't get back, or there's something broken.
Yeah, I think it's circumstances around him, right?
But-
like if he
But
had,
not
if,
circumcision.
We don't know. We don't know.
I feel like there was a time he talked about burning his penis on set.
It
And I
was
can't
the
remember
Eagles.
what.
The production of the Eagle was a
The
profile
Eagle,
that I
the-
believe was an Esquire, maybe.
Right.
I just want to say that the choreographer for that sequence, I'm reading here on the internet, he was also the resident choreographer for the Rosie O'Donnell show.
Hell yes.
Do we care?
That's important.
That's
Choreographed
so
the arc of those
important.
koosh ball
I'm
flingers.
calling Congress. They need to know this. The
It
year is
does
2012,
feel- it
Griff.
does
It's
feel,
The
though.
Vow, 21 Jump Street, and Magic
There we
Mike.
go.
That's his sort of really, really
He
insane
has $300 million movies in the first 6 months of the year.
Right.
And that's when they pushed back G.I. Joe, which was going to be his 4th movie that year, to be like, we fucked up. We got to shoot new footage.
Yes, and they split him up across the entire movie.
Because he
Right.
originally died in the opening scene.
Right.
Yeah, I just think I think it's interesting what you're saying, because you do watch this, and even though this is a small performance and a small part of the movie in so many ways, you're also like the skill of what he's showing in the wattage and how hard he is selling just like multiple things at once while also like taking real chances. It was like, has this guy just unlocked like 20 new chambers?
Yeah, but here's the thing: he unlocks these chambers. I don't think the opportunities unlocked for him because they weren't available. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of like, well, it's kind of the argument that there aren't movie stars and that the real movie stars became superheroes, and then he was lined up to do that, and then that didn't happen.
Here's the thing I want to get your opinion on, because we've talked about this in the past, is like part of the wheel of the weird where did Channing go thing, similar to Swayze, where they were both male stars who were disproportionately popular with women and were very comfortable making the genres of film that are often seen as women's films. And is that an audience that perhaps then wants to refresh with the younger guy faster? Versus like, did Channing ever totally
Channing.
Did Channing
Tatum.
ever totally win over like dudes?
That is a good question.
Not to be
I don't
very
think-
binary.
No,
about
I
it.
don't think so. Not really. Channing Tatum was never cool
Yeah,
in the way you're describing.
And there is
He was fun.
there is a thing when like
and I
guys
think
are
people
too
didn't take him seriously.
No,
Seriously,
well, he doesn't
right?
help
Like,
by being a big old goofball. Like
Right.
he's
Yeah.
not real. And then when he did Foxcatcher, like when he's like, I'm making serious movies,
Yes.
it's like you're really suited to this role
Yes.
Mhm.
of like kind of a lunkhead. He's amazing in that movie. I think he's great.
I
in it.
agree. I think
Yeah.
he's the best performance in that movie. But there's a similar weird. David's doing the Foxcatcher
Don't call
look.
me Golden Eagle.
Nosferatu. My nose is so big. I think there's a similar weird Swayze drop off where you're just
Mhm.
like, how did this guy like
Yeah,
have
Swayze's
fucking
a solid comp.
Ghost, Dirty Dancing, Point Break? This guy's at the center of the fucking culture and he can do everything. And it's not like he has like 3 embarrassing flops in a row and it makes sense. You're just like, it just weirdly kind of tapers.
I mean, I think
Yeah,
it's
but I-
homophobia a little bit. Wait, Ben, what do
I
you
was
wanna
going
say?
to add, I feel like though he has pretty consistently done modeling and fashion related
Channing?
work. Yeah.
Channing remains a major celebrity, even as his like movie stardom
Yeah.
goes through
Yes.
weird waves.
there will always be headlines about him because he has one project or another. Like, I don't mean film or TV projects.
Yes.
Like, he wrote like some picture books, right, with his
People like him,
daughter or
too.
something. Yeah, so like his personal life is part of his professional life, even though I just said that the circumstances outside of
Yeah.
his professional life affected him.
I know we're hyperfixating on Chang in this episode,
That's
but part
okay,
of what's interesting about this movie is how much it examines like the making of a movie star,
Yeah.
right? And how much of it is like timing, circumstance, crafting of a team around you, you know, sort of like context, opportunity, but also these weird X factors that is like someone connects, right? They work well on camera and the audience forms a relationship with them. And then you're sort of like, what is this relationship?
Yeah.
And the like success or failure to identify what is the thing that works about you and how can that be transmuted into other spaces so that you don't get repetitive. And some people, it's a real struggle to figure out like, what is the thing I need to keep track of while also not getting stuck in a rut?
He's in Avengers Doomsday as Gambit.
Yeah, thank God.
Did he get a chair?
Yeah,
He got a chair.
He got a chair.
He got a chair.
Oh man, imagine getting a chair.
Oh, sure.
Okay, I'm going to do a sidebar for a second.
Right? That's what Gambit
Here we go.
says.
Ryan Reynolds did so many fucking emotional posts of like, I'm so proud of my friend Channing Tatum. We had similar journeys of wanting so badly to play these Marvel characters and getting stuck in development hell. And I knew that feeling of fighting 10 years to get the Deadpool movie made when no one believed in it.
Sure.
And I saw the same thing happen to him, but he never actually got to make it. And to see us finally find a way to let him play Gambit and the public react so strongly,
Right.
such a win from him. And I'm like,
Ooh.
the whole fucking movie frames Gambit as being like a dumb fucking idiot. The bit is like he's Boomhauer.
Nobody
know,
understands him.
But Gambit kind of is a dumb fucking
I
idiot.
know, but I'm like,
I mean, God bless him.
I'm like, look, like triumph of like, yeah, he got to wear the costume and people
Right.
cheered and like, you know, he's funny in it.
He's
but I'm
funny
also
in
like,
it.
this clearly isn't what he wanted to do with Gambit. Is
I
be a
I mean,
assume-
it's not really
No.
the return of Gambit if you don't have Anna Paquin back as Rogue. And we really set that up. I'm just saying, I have opinions.
Maybe, but she's in.
A
Is
woman
she in
can have
Avengers
opinions.
Doomsday?
No,
I don't know. Did she get
I
a
don't
chair? I
think
didn't
so.
watch that. I rely on you to tell me.
They'll
what
do an
to
Avengers
Shirley
Doomsday
needs
rogue
all
cut.
chair recaps from me.
Yeah.
I turn to you every day and I'm like, David,
Chair news.
Chair?
Chair. What's
Chair?
That? What's chair?
Not
It would be
chair.
funny if they restarted that and added one more chair.
Yeah.
Just like a random guy. Just like, oh, and the catering's being done
That's
by
a
these
good
people.
question. Is that feed still live and just
No, I
hasn't been
think
updated in 2 months?
So do you want me to do the chairs?
Yeah.
You want me to read them aloud? It's 2 minutes long now.
That sucks.
Chris
Oh.
Hemsworth.
The worst thing was when it was the live stream during
Vanessa
the day
Kirby.
and every 30 minutes they'd had another chair.
Yeah.
I was like,
Anthony Mackie.
I really thought that.
5 hours of my life.
I don't know.
Sebastian
I think I
Stan.
watched 2 chairs. And then I don't know, like, what's your threshold for
Letitia
chairs?
Wright.
I kept going in and out, and then I went to see
Oh.
a movie, and then I came back
Alright.
and
So
caught
you
up.
dipped with the chairs.
Paul
I was
Rudd's
Rudd's
kind of
chair
fine.
was
Russell.
small. It was a smaller chair. The camera
Mm, that's right.
because he's Ant-Man.
I think someone sent like a screenshot to that
Keep on
to a group chat or something. And I was like, well, maybe I'll dip back into the chairs. But then I thought they
Simu
wouldn't do
Liu.
anything else.
I was
with it.
texting one of our group chats, and everyone was like, "I can't believe you're
Florence
still
Pugh.
watching this." And I was like,
Mm.
"Just to be clear, I refresh
Kelsey
it once every
Grammer.
30 minutes. I'm not glued to it.
I was glued to it.
That's
Louis
fair.
Pullman.
I have control. I
Also-
have power."
Also, when
Jamie
you said group
Ramirez.
chat,
Yeah.
I thought group chair.
Joseph Quinn.
That's actually really funny. Maybe we should rename it the group
David
chat.
Harbour. It's just a thing of
I don't know what that is.
Here's an interesting.
Winston Duke.
Here's an interesting thing in retrospect. They announced the entire
Kind of John
Thunderbolts
Kamen.
cast other than Olga Korlorenko.
Tom Hiddleston.
Correct.
Good
A
point.
real signpost to the fact that like this
Patrick
person's
Stewart.
not making it past the first trio.
Ian
do you think?
McKellen.
Do you think someone on
Alan
Olga's
Cumming.
team was like watching the whole thing,
Rebecca
just
Romijn.
Yeah.
hoping they'd do a fake
James
out?
Marsden.
You know,
It was just so
I think Olga's team
It's
was like, we'll happily take the fourth billing and $1 million for 5 days of work.
Yes.
David, are you done reading the chairs?
Channing Tatum.
Okay. I mean, it's kind
Pedro
of like
Pascal.
she shows up, does one line, it's
Robert
holiday day's work.
yes.
Downey
Yeah.
Jr.
And
And
her-
there he is sitting in the
Dun,
chair.
dun,
Heard
dun,
of
dun,
him?
dun, dun. And her one line is her face superimposed into a stunt woman's body as her mask retreats
Yeah.
quickly and then
Yeah,
goes back
she's like,
down.
I'm not here for you. And it's like,
Right. She might have done that in her.
I mean, I swear to God. I mean, I no. How could you
He's
be mad at
swearing.
her? I take God's name in vain. Yes, just that where they were like, how many people in this team like fight with sticks? It's
Yeah.
like like 4. It's like, okay, we gotta lose at least one of those guys. Like Jesus.
how many like foreign ladies with
Right.
severe personalities and masks?
Um,
And she has the skills everybody else has because she
Yeah.
can copy.
right. That's the other
Come
problem
on.
with Taskmaster. We're like,
No.
what's Taskmaster's power? He copies other powers. Like, okay.
I think they were right to do it, but
Once
it's
again,
such a-
Rogue loses.
It's such a funny, like, Feige public handcuffing where they, like, make this big announcement of here's the cast of Thunderbolts 3 years ago, and they show the image, and they bring them all out on stage, and at some point they change the plot, and they're like, maybe we need to drop one person, and they're like, fuck, we're still contractually obligated to give her fourth billing
She has
and
to be
$1
in it.
million. And we have to put her all over the marketing to trick people into thinking she's a proper team member, but the most half-hearted effort ever.
I took the fourth
what
billing
happens.
as an apology, as a sort of
That's
sorry.
what happens in Hollywood land, Griff.
This is true. But also
Eddie
sometimes
Mannix
there's
came.
Marvel
It's like, you'll get
shit.
fourth billing.
Like fucking Michael
You'll get
Stolberg getting like fourth billing in Multiverse of Madness.
That's great in that.
Sometimes there's
He's like, hey,
contractual.
what's up?
If you do a sequel, you
Yes.
move up in the billing.
Yeah.
And even if we end up giving you a tiny part, we can't knock you down.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
there's
kind
a
of
lot
like
of that.
when you go from junior varsity to varsity, and if you've still stuck around,
What were you varsity?
volleyball.
Did you let her?
Baby? Yes. I found my varsity jacket over the
Nice.
weekend.
Show.
We don't need. Yeah.
Where'd you play?
What do you mean?
Front, back,
Oh,
middle.
I was
Setter?
libero.
Mm.
What's that?
That is like a defensive specialist,
You
but
know what?
not the DS, which is the defensive specialist.
You know, my wife was
I'm the one who
setter.
wears a different jersey color.
Your wife was a center?
A setter.
Oh,
Oh,
I mean, great role. That's what most captains are.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were saying a center in basketball.
You know what I like to do?
She's got the height.
Smash.
She's got the reach.
You
She
like
played
to
volleyball
smash. You're a
circle.
Hulk.
Hail Caesar is about Eddie Mannix. Sort of about. It's set in the early 50s in Hollywood.
It is
Eddie
about
Man-
a character named Eddie Mannix.
Right, who is the Coen said like the real Eddie Mannix was like a thug who beat people up and threatened people.
Right.
We didn't
And
really
looked like Bob
want that
Hoskins.
vibe. Right, exactly.
But they do a lot of
He
this
had a
of like
look,
Happy O'Daniel being 90% of the
Right.
name of a real guy. Sometimes they'll like base a character on a person and then be like, we're still going to name it
Keep
after
the
them,
name.
even though we've made it not actually one-to-one anymore.
He works at Capitol Pictures, which of course is the same studio from Barton Fink.
Mhm.
And he is a fixer, so he deals with scandals and he massages egos and he basically just kind of like handles problems for the studio.
In an era where, because of studio contracts, studios viewed stars as investments. They were property. They were a thing that they had to like manage and build and maintain.
Mhm.
And this weird, it's often when this is talked about in a very dark way of people like Eddie Mannix who'd like maybe murder people, you know, and do these things by like force and like covering up the seedy side. But the magic of this movie is this quiet Eddie Mannix arc is he is being courted by Lockheed Martin, a normal company that's never
Right.
done anything wrong, for a
Sort of
stable
at
job
the dawn of the space age.
with
yes.
better hours and the promise that you would get stock options. So even if you quit in a couple years, you'd be set for life. And do you want a more normal life? They're also telling him that they're working on something really big, which happens to be the hydrogen bomb.
Mhm.
Kind of a scary thing, but they're sort of like, aren't you done doing frivolous, like fucking singing cowboy pictures?
It's just the most serious thing you could imagine.
Babysitting divas.
Yeah.
Right. We do serious things like bombs.
Mhm.
The magic of this movie is this very quiet arc that Josh Brolin plays basically through looks and in between words because it is classic Josh Brolin stoicism with something kind of softer going on inside, where this guy is slowly kind of realizing why he cares about this shit. That he is, at the end of the day, kind of dirty show folk to his score, even though he is the type A normal businessman version of that. The reason he's here is because he loves this shit and he loves these people for as much as they drive him crazy. He would be doing something creative if he could, but he's doing this because it's the most creative adjacent thing he can do
Right.
with his weird powers of like alpha dog, negotiation. But yeah, it's like he ends up the movie's set over like 24 hours.
Yeah. It starts at night, ends the next night.
I guess it's
48 hours? I don't know,
36.
whatever.
Yeah, a short time frame, but
Yes.
just a kind of whirlwind of problems that he's trying to fix while also being courted for this job.
Right.
So
here are the
questioning
problems.
why
I'm
he
gonna try
wants
and run
to
down the
do
problems.
this. Yeah.
George Clooney plays Baird Whitlock, who's this sort of like aging movie star with a hint of lavender to him, as they used to say.
Yeah.
Like the joke being that like there would be like Robert Taylor is the example they're drafting off of, like guys where people would be like he's secretly gay and maybe like slept his way to stardom. Totally scurrilous. Like no actual
Right.
like evidence for this, but it would become a thing in the 50s.
Yes.
Because that's what on Wings of Eagles, what
On wings and eagles.
like that's what they're referencing.
One of the
when they
best
say
sound
that.
effects jokes. Yes. But I think it could be read
On wings as
like,
eagles.
Yes, it's such a good title.
On
On
wings as eagles. Wings
There's
of
obviously
voice.
ambiguity in it. I also think it could be
I'm quoting
read,
the Coens when I say the lavender thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
it could be read as this was one strategic like casting couch decision
Oh,
he
yeah, I'm not-
made to
right.
get his foot in the door
Right.
versus
But there
a
was
closeted sexuality.
Possible hanky-panky in
Something-
his past.
Right.
Seemingly happened. Everyone reacts with the intensity
I'm
of
like, ooh, we can't talk
there's
about
a touch of truth to that.
So he gets kidnapped by a bunch of Marxist writers, communist writers,
Yes.
who wish to sort of rearrange his brain in support of their principles.
They're deeply radicalized. They've been trying to smuggle communist ideology into the margins of their studio for hire work, but now they've decided they need to do something to change the system
a
because
great bunch of guys.
And each of them is
Yes.
more exciting to
Crumholtz,
see than the last.
Melamed, Patrick Fischler, Fisher Stevens, Alex Karpovsky. Am I forgetting? There's a couple other guys.
it's an incredible group.
Greg Baldwin, who's the big guy.
Who's the British? Oh, with the perma pout.
Right, yeah, who wrote all the...
Who's the British guy who does most of the
Yeah,
talking?
who is the British? That
He's
guy
really
rocks.
The best guy is the guy who keeps saying "shut up."
Yes.
Oh, Max Baker.
Max Baker.
Incredible.
Yeah, I don't know where they found that guy, but he's so mellifluous and silly.
But they basically are trying to radicalize Clooney. They're using him as a hostage to get the cash they want, but also as a bargaining chip to try to change the system because they think if they can win him over while he's being held ransom, that he will be at the forefront of their argument, which is basically them trying to create some system of profit sharing. It is basically them arguing for like residuals and profit
They don't-
participation. in
Right.
movies.
They don't actually have like insanely... They're pretty silly. They're fun and
Yes,
silly.
They
Yes.
do want to hand a fucking briefcase of cash over to Dolph Lundgren on a Russian submarine.
But like they don't understand what they're doing with that, basically.
No, and
They're a
ultimately,
study group, guys.
ultimately, this is like what I love about it is like, for how much they're espousing serious political opinion, the actual means to an end for them is they would like it if they had nice houses too. That here they are meeting at Channing Tatum's house, which is like the most beautiful Hollywood home you've ever seen. And all these guys are like, I get paid $200 a week to write scripts. And if one's a hit, I don't get any upside from it.
Right.
You know?
They're...
It is the
little guy.
thing that allowed the destruction of the studio system is it gave actors the ability to build a career without career stability of a guaranteed contract, because if you hit, you'd hit big and it could cover the times where you weren't working.
The next most important character, I feel like, is Alden Ehrenreich,
Mhm.
is Hobie Doyle, who is in 4 movies at once, essentially. He's like going from movie. He's like shooting a Western,
Yes.
a comedy, cowboy
Mhm.
musical, or
The Cowboy Musical's wrapped. He's
It's-
going to
yeah.
premiere.
That's
right,
done.
That's
shooting
done.
two
You're right.
movies at
Okay, so
once.
he's shooting the
Yeah.
Western and
And then
the
Merrily We
society
Dance.
comedy
But I think
at the same time, and
the
then
big
right.
pivot point is here's a guy who's a B star. He makes programmers
Yes.
in a sort of like
he's a Gene Autry,
shineless
whatever
genre,
Roy Rogers,
right?
Yes.
And they're going like, does this kid have the X factor? Could we like develop him into something more? He gets slotted into an A movie,
Mhm.
and all the pressure is on is like, this is the test.
Which he's not doing very well at, and of course he's being directed by Lawrence,
Yes.
played by
Mhm.
Ray Fiennes.
Who turns out to be the person that Baird Whitlock allegedly had.
Right.
Yes.
I like just how tightly.
There are a lot of hints and references, exactly, you're right, to how things crossed over in the past, or yes.
And it's
100%.
almost structured like a mystery novel.
right.
Mhm.
You know, there is like
It's a who done who. It's a who done. Yeah.
yes,
Well,
but there's like a,
well.
there's a touch of
That's a bit
Dashiell
saucy.
Hammett, you know, all these like kind of gumshoe books that they love and like
Mhm.
hardboiled noir and whatever, where like the answers kind of happen in the margins. You don't have a scene where Humphrey Bogart like explains everything he figured
right,
out
right,
about the Maltese Falcon.
The footnotes are available to you if you want to look for them.
Yes. Yes, but it happens, and part of it's the fast talking, constantly moving Hollywood thing that like stuff's just getting thrown out as like collateral. Yeah.
Right. I don't know exactly who Lawrence, because like people bring up like Vincente
you said
Minnelli or
Lubitsch.
like Cukor or whatever, but like those guys were American. But it's like, yeah, those sort of like Lubitsch sort of makes sense.
It's one of these touch of class,
you know, guy
kind of-
from Europe
Yes.
who's
Mhm.
more urbane and
Yeah, I don't
literate.
think
and
any
all
of these
that.
directors are one-to-one with
Right.
anyone.
Who
Like,
says things like mirthless chuckle?
Mirthless trouble.
Mirthless
We can use
chuckle.
Christian names, boys.
this is a movie where
Lords.
you could have given it all 5 Best Supporting Actor nominations.
I think we talked about that year at the Blankies, 100%.
Yes.
So you got Scarlett Johansson as Deanna Moran, who's a
Elegant Esther Williams bathing
right.
beauty who actually is like a
synchronized swimmer
hard-boiled
who's like, hey, fuck you.
Brooklyn talker.
That's her favorite accent to
Who
do,
has
right?
she's
Yes.
pretty good at it, and she has been knocked up by somebody. She thinks she knows the guy.
We believe it is the director played by Christopher Lambert.
Right.
Mhm.
Which
And
I,
so
who I
they have
feel
to
like is
handle her
also this
pregnancy.
model of like these like kind of severe, brutish alpha European men who would become
Right.
like dictator directors of the studio system. The movie's so good at capturing the different types of like who were career directors at this point in time, and like you have your kind of like corsage, like
Mhm. The
champagne.
I can't say this word.
Aesthetic?
Aesthetic. No, but aesthete.
Yes.
Aesthete.
Aesthete.
Yes. But also a guy who's like, my name means something. I have a
Mhm,
reputation to
mhm.
present versus like these guys who are like, I show up, I yell at 5 people and I get it done.
And I show you a picture of me skiing
Yeah.
because I am macho.
Right.
Yes.
Then those are the 3 main storylines. And you have smaller characters like Frances McDormand as an editor who's sort of like a Margaret Booth, like lots of
one
famous
scene.
lady editors. Tilda Swinton as identical twin gossip columnist.
Eddie.
And sort of like the Hedda Hopper, Luella Parsons,
Just like-
yes.
What kind of name is Thessaly?
The deep bucket of just simple pleasures in this movie. Every time either of her characters says Eddie,
She's really
I transcend to a higher plane of existence.
Channing Tatum, who really just has the one big scene. Allison Pill, who
Yes.
is Eddie's wife.
Uh-huh.
Wayne Knight, of course, is the wonderful
The
operative who kidnaps
sneaky
bears.
extra. You
And
can
then,
never totally trust an extra.
You see him and you think sus.
And then,
And I love that he says, now, mind you, some of them are good.
Jonah
Don't
Hill,
want to paint with a broad brush.
who maybe we want to talk about now as a sort of
Professional person is the thing they
Right.
say,
Love
which is so
professional
funny.
person.
yes, technically a sort of he's like a bondsman
Yeah.
or whatever.
I still feel like an amateur person. What about you guys?
Same.
But it's
More
also
than ever, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
it's also like,
Semi-pro.
it's part of the weird machinery of this, of like the relationship that the studios have with the gossip columnists, right? Where like sometimes they are basically working them to carry water for them to help sell a fictional narrative, and sometimes they are working overtime to try to squash a potential narrative that they would actually want to crack journalistically. And so all of this machinery of maintaining the images and the reputations of these stars. And yes, Jonah Hill is this guy who's like a bail bondsman, but also his real utility is they will pay him money to basically slide the crimes or indiscretions, misdeeds of any major star onto him. And he will take the rap or pay the fee or do the time or whatever it is,
The fall guy.
and is paid handsomely to be the fall guy so that none of these stories ever stick to these people.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill is on screen for 90 seconds. He has one scene.
Right.
They use every line of dialogue he has in the trailer. They put him all over the fucking trailer.
Because
He's a
he
big
was
star.
hot stuff at the time, 21 Jump Street era Jonah Hill.
I have
It's-
often contested that this is the smallest role to receive a designated character poster. As David turned his laptop around maybe 1 hour ago,
It's low there. It's down low.
it's the funniest character poster. Just big Jonah Hill head with owl glasses.
Well, it also says Hill.
It says
like,
Hill.
It's humongous.
Yes.
And then Hail Caesar is smaller. So you are like, this guy is the star.
He is.
the
Right,
joke,
if that was the only poster you had seen for
Yeah.
this movie.
the joke, of course, is that he's the scheme they work out is that Deanna will have the baby, give him the baby
He will
legally,
foster.
and then she will adopt the baby almost immediately and act like she's doing it out of the goodness of her heart, not because she's the mother of the baby.
Right. Because
then-
the father of the child is the director of
Right.
No
Of
Dames,
Scandalous,
who has a wife and children back in his home country.
not acceptable.
So
Yes.
they can't break
Of-
that up.
But anyway, she ends up falling in love with Jonah Hill and they get married
Which is
anyway,
very
off
sweet and is
screen.
something that basically
Mhm.
happens
They
off
went on-
screen and offhand
They
comment.
went on like one date and then went immediately to Palm Springs and then got married the next day.
She
right?
just immediately
Yeah.
locks in on this guy in a scene that's so funny where he's giving like anti-charisma very well.
But
Right.
he's reassuring.
Yes.
But-
And dare I say
Yeah.
it, he's a serious man.
Right.
I think she respects that this guy's got like a focus.
I think this film is such a fascinating counterpart to Barton Fink, which
Yes.
is like about a person who is outside of this bubble,
Mhm.
thinks he's better than it,
Yes.
and will not like lower himself to the trash, it represents or whatever, and never like gets anywhere essentially and is trapped in hell.
Yeah.
And this is like inside the bubble, all Eddie's doing is dealing with problems, right?
Yes.
It's like this like big complex clockwork machinery, and he's just sort of walking around like
and
fixing
problems
shit,
that are like dark,
banging
and
on stuff.
silly.
Yes, often kind of nasty, and he has to just sort of be like pragmatic about everything.
But I think it's important to point out that it's not always so in the bubble that it's like navel gazy and insular about itself. Like, I
it's
think
literal
it pops,
like little like he has to just like
He's like a
something
mafia
in.
preschool teacher.
you have you have the Jonah Hill character, but I think he exists in a different, like, that there's a Venn diagram here, but the twin journalists, like one of the problems one of them has is that she considers herself an actual entertainment reporter,
Yes.
trade reporter
Yes.
versus a gossip columnist,
Yes.
right? And that feels like a little bit of like, it's both very inside baseball, but it's also the real world bleeding in
Yes.
with the judgment of the work that they do.
Right. And people keep getting them confused.
Yeah. And I think, exactly.
Saying the wrong thing to the wrong person or repeating it twice with an attitude. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think without that piece, you get a film that's way too insular.
I agree.
But because of this, it's delightful.
I also think this movie has such a love of film history and a sort of recognition of like, not like things used to be better. It's weirdly, this movie is simultaneously more cynical and more
Right.
romantic than Barton Fink, which is the fascinating juxtaposition.
It is largely cynical, but
Yes.
then at the end of the day, it is about the system working.
Yes.
Mhm.
And then the one real problem that Eddie actually has to solve, most of the problems sort themselves out,
Right.
is Baird returning and being like, I'm a communist now. Like, we must, and him just being like, no, golden age of Hollywood works. You know, like, you are not allowed to defy this system. Like,
But also in 20 years, it will be dead.
100%. But
Can't fight the future. And the future is on the phone.
Eddie is just like, you will do what you do.
Yes.
You're a member of this machine just like me.
Right.
And Baird's like, okay. And he does it, and George gives the big speech at the end.
Yeah.
And it's like, great. That's how this works.
And you're watching Clooney magic of like, oh, right, George Clooney is George Clooney. We've had so much fun watching him play like a fucking idiot behind the
Befuddled,
8 ball, trying to
right.
figure it out. Clooney's so well playing
Oh, Clooney.
the awkwardness of trying to be in casual positions wearing that costume. He does so much good business with readjusting,
Well,
these like
the
chest
sword.
plates that shouldn't be in like a lounge chair.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
all of those physical bits are funny with the sword and all
But
that.
then we get
So
to this
good.
final moment where you
He's so
see him
herky-jerky.
deliver the big monologue, and Clooney, like a fucking movie star,
Turns it
holds the
on.
camera and turns it on and nails it. And you're like, right, Baird Whitlock might be a moron to a degree, but also there's a reason he's their top star. And here's the magic, and then he loses it, and the take is blown, and everyone's like, yeah, that's what the movies are. We'll just
Yeah.
try it again.
Yeah.
And
You feel like you're witnessing a miracle, and then the miracle falls apart.
Yeah.
I
But he
think-
understands the words "be a star."
Yeah.
Right.
I think
Anyway,
You think?
David, go.
the Coens are steeped enough in movie history to know that there is something so hilarious about you watch some old movie that's great, some, classic movie. And you're like, oh, God, this is great. And then you read the behind the scenes thing, and it's basically
The
like,
most
yeah,
sordid
everyone
shit
was on
imaginable.
fucking speed,
Right.
or gay, or a communist, or insane,
They were
or
on gay
shooting each
communist
other.
speed.
Right? Yes.
Sleeping
And,
with each other.
The whole thing was created through like blackmail and coercion and madness.
20 people got murdered in the making of this film.
And you're like, wait, just to create this sort of like delightful confection that I
Yeah.
watched today, on TCM? Like,
And,
what
like,
do you
right.
To
mean?
help you escape, they had to go through hell.
It's like the movie Babylon, which is loud and
Yes.
obnoxious, and
Yes.
a movie I like a lot in many ways, but is like sort of the loudest version of like, don't you realize how insane Hollywood was? This is a much more whimsical.
I love Babylon, but I think this
tone
movie gets
perfect.
at a lot of the same ideas a lot
Without
better.
having an elephant defecate on camera. So.
Yeah,
which
and,
was
and
good.
I believe half the time. I
Which
can't
was
remember how long Babylon was, but it's
a
long.
couple of days at least. Yes, you're right. And it's like the movie is making
3 hours and 9 minutes.
good.
Ooh, those 9 minutes were necessary.
The people at Paramount's eating razor blades was the test screen.
But David, remember that 2 of those minutes were Avatar.
That's so true.
So who's laughing
and
now?
T2 was in there too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that this is a really good, like, everything has always been great, everything's always been terrible movie.
Yeah,
These two
exactly.
things like exist in tandem, but also the sort of like Sullivan's Travels thing, which it makes sort of unspoken, but is like Eddie Mannix is like, I'm like losing sleep and barely seeing my kids, and I'm so stressed out, and I'm eating this fucking microwave plate of loose meat, as I like try to unwind before I go back to the office for another night shift of dealing with nonsense.
Right.
Why am I doing this? And it isn't serious work. Like, in the name of what?
Right.
And the opposite is Lockheed Martin will give you like shiny tchotchkes and a nice office, and everyone there will behave like a proper adult gentleman, and you'll bomb people.
But the gag is that Lockheed Martin, he's like, we like what you do. We think it would be perfect for creating death that rains hellfire across the earth.
And is Eddie not at the Lazy Old Moon premiere? But I feel like in that scene, you get the Sullivan's Travels moment. Please. Eddie images, please.
Not the real Eddie Mannix.
Yeah. In that
careful.
I'll beat you up. That's what
Stop.
the real
You
Eddie
get the
Mannix is always
feeling
talking
of
about.
Stop threatening me.
Never.
how much people are laughing at this old coot falling into like a fucking water trough, right? And you're like, this is why you do it.
Yeah.
Like, this might be the silliest movie ever made.
Well, I mean, I want to go back to what you were saying about when he's with Francis and they're editing that reel and he has that look on his face.
Yeah.
That look doesn't say like, I have so much power, I could make
No.
this happen. That look instead is like awe and
God, it
tenderness
worked.
toward this strip of
Yes.
this 5 seconds of a scene.
But you're right. He's not patting himself on the back for like, I always knew it. And he's also not doing this kind of maudlin tears in his eyes.
Yeah.
Like, I love Moneyball, but there's the Moneyball moment where Jonah Hill shows Brad Pitt, Normal Marriage, the clip of the guy who doesn't know that he's hit a home run.
Yes.
And
Very not romantic about
and
baseball.
Pitt has his incredible moment. Right. And it's like there's a version of this that is entirely unspoken because Eddie Mannix is a guy who would never let himself say anything like that.
But I also think it's very Cohen's for
Yes.
it to go like they never push it that far
No.
in this. Like it's or ever.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like we're talking about the juxtapositions and everything working in tandem, and I think it's because they clearly now we're many years removed from this, and they have their own projects.
Yes.
They have their own visions, and I
Yes.
think because their visions have competed, I don't know, without us really knowing it
Yeah.
in these films, that's why there's this push and pull and a balance to what we're seeing.
I think so too.
Now, can I talk about my favorite scene in the movie?
Please.
Uh-huh.
I used to do a feature at the Atlantic where I summed up my 10 favorite
Oh, I
features
know
of the
it.
year, scenes of the year.
Bring it back. It's a good
It's a
feature.
lot of work.
Good feature.
It's Anne comma scene.
What else do you have to do with your time?
No, the problem is that it would always come at the end of the year, which is like an incredibly busy
Crunch
time
time.
for my editors, where they're doing all these other top 10 shit. And yeah, anyway, I would love to bring it back. But my favorite scene in Hail Caesar is the scene where he talks to the religious leaders
Yes.
about the divine presence that they have yet to shoot in the movie. And it is
the incredible Robert Picardo.
Picardo's so good.
Just fucking raining
God has a
fleas.
son? What, does he have a dog?
As a
collie,
rabbi
maybe?
who's willing to play.
Where he-
I haven't an opinion.
The correct assumption, of course, that they would get a Protestant clergyman
Yes.
played by the great Alan Harvey, an actor I love, a
Yep.
stand-up, very funny guy.
Yeah.
Um,
Great on Mad Men.
Incredible on Mad Men is that guy that fucking hated Don Draper so goddamn much.
The fucking grumpy boss who secretly all he wants to do
Is
is
do the
draw
cartoon?
a fucking comic strip
about
about
like
dog.
the dog.
That's just like that's the shit that makes Mad Men the best TV show of all
yes.
time. Is you're like, this guy is killing it as like grumpy boss who
Right,
doesn't like
who's
their
a
unconventional
thorn in
ways.
Don's side,
And you're
yes.
like, I would have no notes about this, and I would happily take this all day. And then the shameful secret of this guy is he spends all his extra time drawing a little fucking 3-panel strip about a silly duck that isn't good.
Wait, what is the name? It's so I'm trying to remember the name of the comic book that he draws. But anyway, sorry, I'll find it later. And right, that they wouldn't, it's not like they're not getting an imam in here or
No.
like a, they're just, it's like a Catholic priest,
Yes.
Greek Orthodox
Right.
priest, and a rabbi.
Who's closest? It's like checkbox one of each in the surrounding 10-mile area.
Right,
And
right,
it's
right.
this perfect parody, I feel like, of, I don't even know if the Coens were going for this,
Yeah.
but of movie making, especially right at that time, like right pre-Trump.
I would argue
Of,
it
like-
kind of presages it. Like you think
Yes,
about
exactly. We need
this-
to calibrate our message so it appeals to everyone without offending anyone, but it's still going to be about a sensitive topic. Can you help us, please?
This movie comes out 6 months before Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that's interesting that what you're saying is like, they were like meeting the moment of something circular coming around again that
Right.
tends to happen in 20-year rotations of the entertainment industry being like, we have to be important
Mm-hmm.
in everything we do. And it's always this kind of hollow
And yet,
diagrammed. Yes.
and yet in the work in progress frame, it says divine presence to be shot.
So good.
It's very funny.
I mean, and because the scene itself feels like the setup to a joke, right?
Right.
Like a rabbi and a Protestant padre of some sort.
Yes.
And what
but
was the other one?
they're basically
Walk into a bar.
What I like about it is he's framing it as like, my esteemed men.
right.
right.
Hey, I just want
want-
to check with you.
I
that
want
this
your
is
blessing
okay.
and your insight.
Yes.
But they're squabbling so much that he eventually gets down to the brass tacks of just like, I just need to know that
Yeah.
we're not accidentally doing anything offensive.
But that
He's
also,
acting like he's bringing them in as like esteemed consultants. And really, he's just like, are you guys going to complain about any of this shit when the movie comes out?
but it's also why this movie holds up, where it's just kind of like he brought them in,
Yeah.
and now it's like, well, that's enough.
Yes.
We did that.
Right.
They came in.
Right. Right. We can say in the marketing, which is part of the machinery, Jeffrey Cantor, I just want to call out, plays Sid Siegelstein, who is the lawyer at Capitol Pictures.
Right.
Who sort of facilitates the deal with Jonah Hill and Scarlett Johansson. An actor I worked with on Patrick Willems' short film, which will maybe be out by the time of this release, the Dinner Plan. He is so fucking good in this.
Right,
And
where
what
he's like, it's never been done before about the adoption, or but like, yes, that guy.
they're pitching him like, what's a way we can get
Yeah.
Johansson's baby? And he and Mannix start to like piece together like, is there a way to have her adopt it? We'd have to get a foster parent, this and that. And he's reacting with the energy of like an artist being hit with inspiration.
Yeah.
He's like, huh, that's good. I like that. And it's not like a dark energy. It's like all of these people are artists, right? Like
Mhm.
Mannix loves figuring out how to talk to different people
Right.
and
There's
get what he needs
sort
out
of a
them.
joy in it, or a
Mhm.
skill, or
And
whatever.
this weird lawyer who you just imagine has been covering up some of the darkest, most criminal shit,
Mm.
loves being like, oh, what if we did this?
It's a puzzle to solve. Yeah.
Right, right. And he underplays it, but it's so fucking good.
And this is all in service of making silly movies for us.
And
That's
so
like
that
the
the silly
thing of-
movies aren't ruined. They're
Right.
not tarnished by the real world.
Lazy Old Moon is the most serious movie I've ever seen.
Oh, that's so true.
So
And actually, I've heard that they're remaking it for modern day, but it's woke.
it's well, you can't wake up the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Don't disturb the moon. I don't know what the
This time it's going to be lazy old Venus,
Oh, yikes!
chock full of women.
You know that's not a. It's
What's
a
up?
mostly gaseous planet.
Excuse me.
I have no
Shirley,
idea.
I hate to big dog you on this, but I read a scientific textbook
Oh
many
man,
years
and
ago
I
that
never
explained to me
have.
that
There are no women in
men
STEM.
are from Mars and women are from Venus. And that's a fact. And when I say I read the book, I mean I read the cover.
That's exciting. I only looked at the pictures.
The no dame sequence is so triumphant as a performance from Tatum, who we've talked about a lot already in this episode. But the moment that I truly like just lose my mind with joy is when they cut out to the wider shot after this like beautiful kind of elegant sweeping long crane movement, and you see that the floor of the set is separated into blocks
Right.
that roll away, that they had to move away in order for the crane to move in closer. And now seamlessly, as choreography, not from the performers, but from the crew, they have to roll right back into position as the crane is pulling back. So when it goes back to its original angle, the floor is in shape. And I'm like, that's fucking magic of the movies. And that's the shit when you watch a movie from the 1940s where you're like, they had to fucking figure this out.
It is amazing what they figured out for some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're right. They had this heavy ass cameras that can only do so many things. They didn't have steady cams back then.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know.
And then
they're
Chris,
athletes and scientists.
and you watch this take that feels like perfect, that feels like a fucking miracle where everyone's just nailing everything. And the crane comes down and Christopher Lambert with his fucking dumb director bullhorn goes like, don't put the bar rag on the guy's head. You're too big of a star. You're bigger than that, right? Like gives him a direction that is not like you fucked anything up. It's sort of in the name of his star persona. I think he says it in a way that offends the bartender
Mhm.
actor, right?
Right.
But I think what he's really saying is that's you kind of punching down.
Do you think the Coen brothers talked to Christopher Lambert about how he played Raiden in Mortal Kombat?
Absolutely.
I hope so.
it's the
They
only
did.
thing they talked about.
Or do you think when he was in character, she's like, this reminds me of Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Heather Goldenhirsch,
Oh, I love her.
Eddie's assistant.
You know what? You know what
I
show
love
she
a
was
mousy
on, Griff?
assistant.
What?
Can you guess?
Mad Men?
No, although
should have
was
been.
she?
Yeah.
Because she does have the look. You're right.
Yeah.
Let's find out if she was
She
on
does-
Mad Men.
She's such a good fast
No.
talker.
She never was. She was on the show The Class, which is a show I think about all the time.
Interesting.
It ran for one season.
Yeah.
It was a big CBS show.
I watched it and I forgot that she was on there.
Right, from the creator of Friends. And
Yep.
the gimmick was that it was 28-year-olds who had been in the same third grade class 20 years ago,
go
and
to
they
a
somehow
reunion, and then they become
reunionize.
but then they become a regular friend group. Jason
no,
Ritter,
but it was a
Lizzie
really-
Kaplan, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, John Bernthal.
This is why I wanted to bring it up. It had an insanely stacked cast of guys who are about to happen.
Andrea Anders, Lucy Punch. Yeah.
Right. A couple of the guys, Andrea Anders had already done Joey and was kind of like, in the sitcom mix. Jason Ritter had, he was in the sitcom mix a little bit. But like Lizzie Kaplan, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, and then insanely John Bernthal, who never did anything like this again, were all in it. But it was such a weird show because they mostly wouldn't interact.
Yes.
Like it was mostly like 4 separate tracks of stories. And they would only occasionally cross over. It was so weird.
But it was also David Crane, creator of Friends.
It was the creator of Friends.
James
It was set in
Burrows
Philadelphia, and it had 0 non-white people in the cast. And people were like, "Are you guys crazy?
But also,
you can't do this anymore."
Right. But it had been a winning formula up until that moment.
Until it was right around then when people were starting to ask
Starting to
questions.
push back on it. But the famous story they tell is that they
Anyway, she was really good in it.
Right before the first episode aired, Crane and Burrows took the whole cast to Las Vegas. Have you guys heard the story before?
Mm-mm.
All expenses
I'm
paid
just
trip.
reading about this now.
And they were like, guys, we don't want to stress you out, but you just need to understand this is the last time you're ever going to be able to go out in public again as normal people, and especially as a group. We saw what happened to the Friends cast.
Right.
And I want you guys to have a great
savor
weekend.
this.
Savor this.
And Bernthal was like, for me, this is actually sort of true.
Yes.
And everyone else is like, huh?
And then the show just collapsed immediately. But the confidence of this is it. We are holding a hot hand. This is new Friends.
So crazy to think about. Anyway, she's great in this
great
too,
in this.
as the assistant to Mannix.
Who's constantly filling him in.
The thing is, I feel like that story probably happens a whole bunch.
Right,
We just never hear.
It's like the NBA champion shirts they printed for the other guys, who then get shipped to whatever.
It's just a particularly infamous one, and because most of that cast has then ended up finding success somewhere else, they all retell that story whenever they do press
And,
about
you're right about
the false
Burrows.
starts of careers.
Like if James Burrows was directing a show back then, it was kind of like, okay, this must be the next big comedy. Like
There
that
was
guy always
a
directs.
25-year run where he had not directed a single pilot that didn't go to series and last more than one season. It was insane.
Yes.
Was just a kingmaker. Yeah.
But anyway, love her.
Yeah.
In this, and liked her fine in the class from what I remember. Don't really remember.
This is a movie where everyone is great. And
Wait,
even
is anyone bad though?
No. And there are people in it where you're like, you're going to hire Dolph Lundgren to stand at the top of a submarine for a day and basically be art direction.
It kind of nails it.
That's the thing.
He does great.
It doesn't feel like an abuse of power on the Coens' part.
Like Clancy Brown showing up for 2 seconds as Clooney's co-star. Love to see him.
Every one of these people who shows up, you're like, well, but could anyone do what they're doing better than them?
I mean, Dolph stands so well on that submarine.
He's
so
largely
imposing.
in silhouette.
I'm like, that guy's a commie.
But it's it's presence, it's history, it's reputational casting. As we said, the future is loaded with
all these
just incredible that guys where you're like, Melamed, you're giving him 2 lines of dialogue?
Melamed, I feel like the other thing is a lot of them are guys who haven't been in Coen movies, but you're like, how have they never been in a Coen movie?
Right, this is the first Krumholtz, and then he does Buster Scruggs after this.
And then it's I don't think Fischler had done one, and that's another guy who feels
like
right,
yes,
like that he had popped up in a Coen
right.
before.
Karpovsky had done Llewyn Davis.
I was just about to say Karpovsky, but does he have a line in this?
He just takes the pictures, right?
He just moves around.
Presence.
He just smirks.
But I'm like, he's giving so much.
Had
right?
Picardo ever
It's
done
giving so much.
I don't know.
Picardo.
That's
I don't
kind
think
of
no,
wild.
no, he hasn't.
Yeah. You do have to just think about True Grit was their biggest hit. That comes only a couple years after they sweep the Oscars, and then Inside Llewyn Davis is basically immediately greeted as a masterpiece, even though it doesn't become a big Oscar movie. It's this is maybe their best thing. They were just running so hot where anyone would show up for one day for them.
For sure.
And we haven't even shouted out the narrator.
Michael Gambon.
We love to hear him.
Yeah. But
My
this
favorite-
movie has a $22 million budget. Think about how much fucking value there is. This is a movie with like big sets and big costumes and like an all-star cast and everything. People just wanted to play.
Do you think about how Inside Llewyn Davis wasn't nominated for any Oscars?
I think about it constantly.
That is crazy. Or did it maybe get like a cinematography?
It must have gotten song
Yeah,
and
it got-
cinematography.
I think it got
sound and
song.
cinematography.
And no song?
No song?
No, because remember
Uh-oh.
they
They
submitted
disqualified.
the like, the Please Mr. Kennedy.
And they
like,
didn't, rather
I
than
guess
fare
people
thee
thought it
well.
was too silly. Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's some of the dumbest shit of all time. That movie is, I'm excited to rewatch it.
Oh,
We will
me
have done
too.
it at this point.
It's too hot in New York right now
To watch.
So hot.
to watch that movie.
Thank God we can.
Like that movie
push
is
that-
so cold.
It's the
like that I
heat.
would just sort of be like, no, it's never felt like this in New York. This is science fiction.
It's one of the great coat movies.
It is one of the great.
I can't believe I come here and it's so hot.
It's so hot.
I'm
And you
so-
guys won't come to LA.
I
And-
come gladly and with pleasure. I fly to LA
With
trippingly.
pleasure.
Trippingly.
with pleasure.
Ruefully. Rueful.
We were just having text conversation about a thing that David won't go to LA for.
No.
It was a
But I
hard. It was
support
an
you guys.
automatic. We assume you're not doing.
But I
this.
support it.
Do
I'll film a video
cross-country
message.
train. You could just drive the whole
It's a
way.
great idea. I would love to do that. I would love. It's not. I don't like flying.
I
at
know.
all.
That's why I'm saying.
I don't like, and it's of course flying getting a bit of a bad rap right now. I will say,
Bad rap?
couple
Why? What
couple of
happened?
red flags in the old news for airplanes. But no, it's not children, not the flying guys. Children.
You say this, but the arguments were not very different pre-children.
I took planes pre-children. I did. I did. I took planes.
I know you did.
pre-children. Yeah.
Yes, I did cross-country train trip to California. It was wonderful.
You enjoyed it, didn't you?
I had a grand old
Were
time.
there any hiccups? And I'm not talking about the star of Hit live action remake, How to Train Your
I
Dragon.
didn't realize there wasn't going to be Wi-Fi on the train because you go to areas of the country where there is nothing, and they were like, "You will not have cell phone signal, let alone Wi-Fi on the train." And so I should have downloaded a bunch of stuff to my iPad before
Right.
I got on. That was the mistake I made.
What did you do instead?
Did some reading,
Hmm.
did some thinking.
Staring out the window.
A lot of time in the whatever they call it, not the viewer car or whatever, but they had the one car that's
Man, we
like
the
know what
bubble
it's
car
called.
that's like all big
all
windows. And you drive through. The train runs through these areas where you're like, there is no other sign of human life
Untouched beauty.
anywhere. You're like, you only get to see this land if you're on this
Wow.
train.
Is that the panoramic car or something? Or
I think that's right.
if we had the internet, we could look it up.
We could. And we don't. We are recording this episode on a cross-country train.
In a bunker because it is hot outside.
It is a bit of a bunker that we're in right now. Hail Caesar.
What are things we should
That's
call
right.
out?
Well, I'm sorry. Actually, that's time for a union break.
Oh.
I'm gonna call it. So
Lunch.
yeah,
Box lunch or hot lunch?
hot lunch.
The kind of shit as like students of filmmaking that they just love digging into the details of like the lunch strata.
The
and what
lunch
terms
strata.
were used, David. Crunching
Mhm.
ice directly on mic, almost leaning in to make sure we capture it in full quality.
Again.
But yes, that bit of like you never seeing the Jesus actor who they're just like, we found a guy who has the right look from behind and doesn't have to deliver dialogue.
Feet wise.
But the movie also never shows us the guy
Right.
head on. And you
Right.
just hear this meek voice of a guy who just kind of works as Jesus from most angles. And that fucking just cut in.
Well, I mean, for a film that's about faith and art and
Right.
faith in oneself's work and passion and purpose, like for Jesus to not be a principal is very funny.
That's the other thing I think this movie captures really well is like the thing that kind of goes away with the death of the studio system is this sort of feeling of like, this is just a job. People clock in and clock out, right?
Mhm.
Because you have like a contract and
Yeah.
you know when one production ends, you're going to be put on the next one.
Right.
This backlot is your office, right? You're not like negotiating to be like, oh God, I hope I can get this grip job in Bulgaria.
Mhm.
I haven't booked anything in 18 months. And this sort of like kind of rote, like banal routines of these things.
Yeah.
And this guy just going up to the fucking guy who's literally like mounted on a cross and being like, are you principal or extra? And the guy's just like, I actually don't even know.
Right.
But
And
Doesn't
it's just a
speak.
matter of which lunch do I give you?
Right, exactly. I don't know. It's
great
work a
show.
day.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
But it's always loving, or at least affectionate.
Yes.
Mhm.
And there's a world where that's almost kind of glib, where you're like, come on, guys, like, what are we glossing over? Like, but it never feels like they're glossing anything over. They're giving you the kind of nasty side
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
Hollywood
It's nasty.
without it being hectoring
Yes.
or,
Yeah, it's nasty and nostalgic at the same time.
just like me.
Can I circle back to a couple? Yeah, big time. Can I circle back to a couple more Hobie things?
Hobie.
Yes. One, I love that Mannix trusts him and tells him what's going on.
Hope, yes. That, like, it's like,
He's there
he's
with
the one
the
who's like, he's been,
suitcase.
and Hobie goes like, this is bad, real bad, or whatever.
Bad
Right.
for movie stars everywhere.
Hobie's kind of a Tom Cruise. Like, he believes in protecting movies. You know what I mean?
And his speech about, like, you should look at the extras, which is
Mm.
like, is this a sort of like classist, I'm a star, look at the lowest guys on the rung? But then he explains that he's just like, you know, I know the gaffers. You know, like he's
I know the script girls.
right. You're like, he is someone who like has such respect and love for everyone who works on these movies and understands that's like we're
And has
all
gotten
part of the
to know
same
them.
thing. I don't have ego,
Yeah.
but just simply the extras aren't here every day. So you just don't know. And some of them I like quite a bit, you know, but some of them you don't know. But yeah, Hobie like clocks the briefcase thing. And you see this moment where Brolin does the math. And it's like, is he just so tired that like this was what he had allotted to be his 3 minutes of closing his eyes and decompressing?
Mhm.
And Hobie comes in and he's just like, fuck it, I'm going to tell you. Or does he correctly read that like
Right.
Hobie's smarter than people think?
Right.
Yeah.
He's like considerate, he's thoughtful, he's observant. He might actually have good intel, which is rewarded in the fact that Hobie's the one who puts it fucking together
Yeah.
and rescues Barrett.
Well, Eddie reads Hobie so well also because Hobie is like, whatever you need, I can get you. Yeah.
Yes.
Like, but it's not like, but he's not saying it in this like cloying way or like Hobie never comes off as someone who wants to climb the ladder.
No, they talk. They
Yeah.
talk about that
He genuinely wants to help.
The other thing I want to bring up, Veronica Osorio,
Oh, yeah.
UCB alum, is
Love
so
her.
phenomenal in this.
Yes.
Playing like a Carmen Miranda type.
Yes.
Mhm.
Who the studio is trying to, now that they're trying to make Hobie an A-list star, they're trying to set him up with one of their other stars to get more press to present him as a bit of a Lothario. And it is such a sweet little romance in this movie that they go on this arranged date and you can tell they actually
They're vibing.
connect.
I
She's so
think there's
cute.
promise.
They're catching a manufactured thing that is becoming real, and them having the two fucking Swintons stop by the table and they have the lines they've been coached to say, and yet they're just sort of
Fixin'.
like, there's an actual energy here that isn't
Fixin' to be
fake.
friendly.
It's so good. She is so good.
It's endearing. She's
Their
great.
chemistry is so good. I
Yeah.
love the brass tacks of them explaining their fucking routines. How do you bounce the fruit on the head? How do you do the lasso shit? You know, like
Yeah.
just like this is the grunt work that goes into then making something look really effortless.
And lassoing her finger is such an innocent move that then they have to like that when they are confronted by the two Tildas, it's like suddenly they have to be on, but then they're already on. I don't know,
Italian
this is the-
origami. I think he calls it Italian origami.
Italian origami.
Spaghetti rodeo.
They're so good. I believe them more than I believe Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello.
I believe them
Give
more
me
than I
another
believe
manufacturer.
many people who
is
are
Shawn
married.
Mendes? Who's
That's
Shawn Mendes?
This is a great
That's
question.
wow.
I've been too afraid to ask
I
for
don't,
years.
you know, and he never got a chair, so I also don't know. A Canadian?
Is Camila Cabello the one who was Cinderella
Ooh, yeah.
yes.
in the
Amazon's
Cinderella?
Girl Boss
Cinderella.
line.
That is
She comes in a little package.
that was a tough watch.
That I feel like
That was a tough one.
that might be your least favorite movie of all time. I feel like you sometimes
tough.
identify it, and part of it was also like deep lockdown.
Yeah, it wasn't in a
Amazon
great
streaming
time.
bullshit.
Right.
But
yeah.
that is like maybe the closest I've ever seen to like, is David gonna be okay?
I like Kate Cannon. Like, I liked
Same.
Blockers. And it was
Same.
one of those things where I'm like, is this like,
And
this
you
is
love
kind
James Corden in supporting roles in
Oh
movies.
I
my
like James
God.
Acaster, who's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
and Ramesh Ranganathan,
It's,
who's
it had good people involved.
not enough.
but it felt like the apotheosis of a sort of like, we can't just be like, guys, did you know Cinderella is kind of problematic? I mean, there has to be more than this.
You're right.
We cannot do this.
Well, this
Yeah,
is
man.
We
my
must cease.
the increasing
But then you know
problem
what I
with the-
watched recently, and
Right.
I want to say that I love and respect our friend Rachel Zegler, and
Yes.
I cannot wait for her to come back on the show.
Same. Yes, possibly will have happened recently if not
Hopefully-
cut the
hopefully
statement
not.
out, Ben.
But nonetheless, But I watched that Snow White movie.
Yes.
Hmm.
And it is stinky poo-poo.
It's stinky poo-poo. Now,
It's
Rachel,
no good.
I will say this.
She acquits herself just about as well as you could in
And
that kind of a
Rachel is
situation.
a fucking movie star in
And
the
she
way that
can
this
sing.
movie is about, where you're just like, anytime she is doing something on screen is magical, and she is so multi-skilled and smart about what she's doing, that anytime it is a close-up of her face, you're like, this is a real movie. And then it cuts out to a wide shot of the 8 worst looking characters I have ever seen
I
in
have
my
never
life.
been more
Fucking
horrified.
dwarves.
Every time these CGI dwarves were on
Yes.
screen, I wanted to eat glass and then spit it into my eyes.
Well, let me tell you, Rachel, a star, so talented.
You're trying to spit it
not,
into
not forcing anybody to spit
genuinely
glass.
good in the movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the dwarves showed up at my screening. The child behind me screamed.
Yeah.
They came out. They're like they're shadowy, and then they walk out, and they're like hi ho, whatever, or whatever.
No, it's hi-ho with a
It's
bunch of new stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the kid behind me goes,
I turned to my girlfriend and I said, like 30 seconds into them being introduced, I said, I am physically suffering from having to look at them on screen, and I think this is going to be a big issue for the rest of the movie. Anytime
No,
they were on
they're-
screen, I was like shaking.
You would think that they're a small issue, Griffin.
They should be a little issue. And in fact, but is another example of what you're saying of like, okay, we want to make a big, expensive live action Snow White. Obviously, Snow White is problematic now, so we have to address all the controversies head on. And I'm like, or maybe you should take the lesson here, which is don't make modern Snow White. Don't make modern Cinderella.
Don't
If
do
you're
it.
so
Exactly.
worried about these movies, don't do them.
It's also the new songs never mesh well. I never watched the Cinderella. I mean, I'm always concerned about David, but yes, that period of time was no good.
Really.
No bueno.
Yeah.
Concerned about me?
Yeah, of course.
We're all worried about you.
We're all worried about you all the time.
Stop being me.
Snow White already only had like 3 songs to begin with in the original movie, and then this
One of them
movie,
involves a lot of whistling.
right? This
Right.
movie cuts out one of the 3 songs
It
because
does.
of woke.
Because it's unwoke.
And you're like, so we're down to
And
2
then adds a
and
bunch
then
of songs.
8
It's like,
dog
it's
shit
fun
new
to
songs.
be in the Snow White movie. And you're just like, what's this song about? They're like, I don't know.
They also they don't want the dwarves to be dwarves, right? Because they think that's
Right.
condescending. So they're
I'm
like,
sorry for my
it is
problematic
them
joke.
and they look like the cartoon designs and they
Right.
have the same names, but they're actually some kind of weird magical creature. So they do hi ho, and then the middle of hi ho, they add 3 verses being like, we are immortal, we come from a sacred realm. Like they do, I'm not shitting you. They do
You
hi
are
ho,
right, you are
and they're
right.
doing like fucking mining as
Yeah,
if it
they're
was
kind
like
of like Lord of
Temple
the
of
Rings
Doom.
dwarfs,
and
right?
then they just
yeah.
start explaining like, we're our own
We
thing.
can detect jewels with a special sense.
And the jewels glow.
We're not exaggerating.
Yes, yes.
It's absurd. And I'm like ripping out my seat cushion.
Children are crying. Children are screaming.
Rachel
I heard
Zegler's
this
very good in that
firsthand.
film.
She is. She really does acquit herself. Someone
She
else in the film I thought
She's
was
so wonderful.
no bueno. So there was another actress.
Oh, I believe she sings quite a bit in it.
Yeah.
And it sounds a bit
Something was
like
happening in those
this.
scenes. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'd call it
She's
singing.
evil.
In her defense, there
Uh-huh.
was such a warm reception to her singing the song Imagine on Instagram in the year 2020
Mhm.
that who wouldn't then follow that lead and say, I gotta quadruple down on this.
I mean, I thought that video was so powerful and meaningful, and it really turned my pandemic experience around.
It
and
did.
right now, I really would love to lead us in a rendition of
Yes, let's do
Imagine.
it.
Okay, and guys, just to pay proper tribute to the original video, let's make sure that none of us are in the same key. That when we hand off from one line to another.
I vote not going outside where it's hot.
And if you want to like jam some sort of sand into your iPhone microphone, really make it hard for it to pick up the noise.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you want to hold it up to your nostrils.
Some people are doing it amidst whipping wind. Some people have dogs barking in the background.
Oh, I'm also a part of the cast of the Wonder Woman 1984, so.
Yes.
They should make Wonder Woman 1985. What if they did that? They were like, now we're slowing it down. Like, not present.
Or 83.
Except it's not about
Well,
1985, it's about the Bowling for Soup song.
Yes.
Please elaborate.
No.
Okay.
Other Hobie stuff I want to say.
Yes.
In
I'd love
that
to.
date scene, she goes to, how did you end up in this position? And he
Right.
says this kind of story. That's this thing that used to happen that doesn't really happen anymore. But Channing Tatum is sort of one of these guys where he's like, I was a rodeo
Right.
guy proper. Then I got side work as a wrangler. Then at some point they just go like, can we throw you a line? Then they realized I could speak. I think he became a stunt person. Then they threw him a line. Like this like slow evolution. And then they heard I could sing, and then they decided I got to be the guy. You know, that the line of "and then I get to be the guy" is just I don't know.
Channing is such a good comp. I haven't thought about it that way.
Yeah.
He's Hobie.
It's why I think his casting is so good.
Alden himself, I suppose, a little bit. This sort of, I mean, he's a little bit more of the we found this gem on a
fully
bar
formed.
mitzvah
That's
tape.
the difference.
Yeah.
Like, where do we place him? Whereas Channing, we all got to see him build.
Yeah, we can
At
sculpt
this point,
guy.
Weapons has come out, and I hope he's really good.
Very, very excited to see him in it.
Yeah.
And
And of course, he's in Ironheart.
of course,
Yeah.
the world's most
Ironheart.
on-time series.
The most,
being
right.
released exactly when it was originally planned to
You
be
know who
released.
he's playing in it, right?
Who's he playing?
He's playing Ezekiel Stain. He's playing Jeff Bridges'
Oh,
son.
So
God.
weird. And Anthony Ramos is the Red Hood.
Oh, boy.
They're pulling
oh, boy.
80th tier characters,
Right.
and
And,
assigning wildly overqualified actors to play
Well, that
them.
is
It's
the
exactly
Marvel
what we
TV
wanted.
way.
Yes.
But I occasionally I'll send any tweet I see about Ironheart to my brother because we're obsessed with Ironheart.
Not the Red Hood. The Hood. The Red Hood's a fucking DC
That's
character.
DC.
I'm a
You're right.
fucking
the Hood,
idiot.
The Bendis
Get it
character.
right.
And there was some tweet that was like, Ironheart will not use magic until later in the series. And I was like, what? She's using magic? Is that
Like the dwarves.
when did that get ended? I thought she had a fucking suit.
By the time this episode comes out, it will have been a long settled thing. But isn't the rumor that Sacha Baron Cohen plays Mephisto in the series?
Are you kidding me?
I believe the show gets into the satanic arts, which is then you realize that he was pulling the strings on the Hood. I think that's where this is going.
Oh,
or
my God.
perhaps that was 5 versions ago.
Right. No, I think certainly that's
think-
rumored.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway,
Haven't watched.
Hail Caesar, anything else you want to say about beautiful Hobie Doyle?
We must just call out Would That It Were So Simple, which is, for my money, one of the funniest scenes in the
simple.
history.
And
of
What that
movies.
it were so simple.
I know that I like to make hyperbolic statements as
No,
such,
but it's
but
very
this
good.
thing hits so fucking hard every single
It's kind of like Oh Brother thing of doing the damn, we're in a tight spot 4 times of it goes on for so long that
Yes.
you're like, this can't be funny anymore, and then of course it gets funny
But
again.
also, it's such a slow burn of
Yes.
just him arriving on set, Lawrence immediately clocking this isn't my kind of guy, right? I love the character detail. It's the kind of thing that Fiennes plays so well, but he is such a fucking pretentious snob that he's actually doing a bad job as a director in the
Right.
process, because it's dude, stop using the fucking $40 words.
Right, he's kind of
It's clearly
bullying
not
him.
getting through to him, and it's not helping your movie.
But I like the little jokes that get built in, such
Yes.
as when he's switches from Mr. Lawrence to Lawrence, and Hobie's like, wait a second, I thought, and he's like, no, we can use our Christian names,
Yeah.
things like that.
Have you seen this
I love
before,
the
Ben?
sub jokes.
No, I had never seen it.
I want your overall opinions, but this scene in particular,
It's the physical comedy of it is something that I've really dug in on. I think he just plays the physicality and just conveying how out of depth he is.
just by a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But it's just subtly off enough, even in the steps and the handling of the
I
door
love
and
when they
everything.
pull out and all you can hear is his shoes
Yes.
squeaking, echoing
Yes.
in the room.
Yeah.
Here comes Hobie.
Who's playing the female?
It's Emily Beecham.
right,
Mhm.
right, very funny.
They did a really good, and you have Agnes Dean in here as well, and Jack Houston. Some of the fake movie stars they cast that you only get to see in snippets are correctly identified. These people have old-fashioned faces.
yeah,
They
yeah,
really
These
do.
are old
They don't
school
have
movie
iPhone
beauties
face,
with
right.
Yeah.
old school kind of
Mhm.
they hold themselves in a certain way.
And they make the most of their 2 lines.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
I adore that she kind of what does she say? She says, Allegra can't make it or something. I can't remember the exact line.
Yes.
But the more frustrated she gets with Hobie, you can see it little by little.
There's the
and
moment
Hobie's clocking it
There's
and
the
getting more
moment
flustered.
where she has to react to him, and you see, I think they do a close-up on her as he delivers his first line, and you see it in her eyes of this whole movie is going down the drain, and she can't totally blow it because she's got to stay in the scene. But she looks like they pulled her out of a time machine.
Mm-hmm. They also costumed her as such,
Yes.
right? Like the costuming
And they
in this.
let her.
We haven't talked about the costuming in this. It's so perfect.
But this movie
film got a
has, like-
production design
We are in
nomination
1951.
at the
God,
Oscars,
even the
but
hair,
weirdly
Even
not
the
they really
costumes.
capture
But
that
like
era.
perfect beauty lighting in a way we
Yes.
don't get anymore.
We haven't shouted out "Good Luck Bar," "Rest in Peace," "Good Luck Bar" in Los Feliz. That's
Oh,
where the
tell us
scenes
about
of the-
that.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is some LA nonsense.
This is not LA nonsense.
The place
This
he
is
keeps
LA
going
lore.
for the meeting with the Lockheed Martin guy.
Right, yeah,
Mhm.
right,
It's
right.
like it's the Chinese
Old-fashioned
restaurant.
Chinese restaurant.
Great
right.
old-fashioned Chinese restaurant. Great bar. Went on a date there once. Great vibes.
Hey.
How'd the date-
Always
how'd the date
Humble
go?
packed.
brag.
All right.
Okay.
Whatever.
I've been to that restaurant as well. It's awesome.
There you go.
Yeah.
There
I've
you
never
go.
been there.
But it
Great
also,
food.
But I feel like the locations they chose not only is like I don't know like you could see it as an equivalent of like the Formosa Cafe, right? Where it's kind of like people went there all the time back in the golden age of Hollywood.
Mhm.
And it's like the places they went were also just as much like facades as the studio,
Yeah.
you know, like and so this is their entire world and it is like them attempting to leave the studio, but at the same time, they're still in this like set.
Shirley, very well said.
Formosa is where LA Confidential, where
Yes.
where he's like, you know, you look like don't just because you're a whore cut to look like blah. It's like no, it is her.
I love that all of these locations
Yeah.
are like scattered around LA, right? Like it's not just this. I mean, like Formosa's near where I live. Los Feliz had Good Luck Bar.
Right.
There's like in Koreatown, there's a bar called The Prince, which was used in Chinatown. It was also the bar in New Girl,
This is
and they
getting
never changed.
I'm loving this.
Okay,
I'm
out
loving
of control.
listen.
No,
I'm
I know,
loving
I know the Prince because I think our friend Allison Herman had one of her wedding events there.
Oh, Pee Wee's sister?
Yes, exactly. Have you ever thought that like Los Angeles, another term for it could be like the city of angels
Mm.
Oh
because
man,
it's like Los Angeles.
you know,
Do you remember that time that I won the Oscar for Best Actress and it hit me in that moment? It's true what they say about this city. It's full of angels.
There you go.
I'm sorry, guys. I just got to say, can we stick to the script,
Okay,
please?
okay.
That
Oh.
really was just
And
like
can you
too
give me
much.
can you give me any direction, anything you want differently this time?
Try doing what you're doing,
Okay.
but better.
Okay. true what they say about this city.
Adam Worthless chuckle.
melt steel beams.
She did say that. She did say that. We never went to the moon. Fake. Lazy old moon.
Stanley Kubrick.
Too lazy to go to the old moon.
Fly me to the
You know
moon.
what my favorite LA bar is
It all
though,
comes
Shirley?
together.
It's a little place called Chicken on a Stick. Little jazz bar.
Could have just called it Stickin'.
That's where jazz was created.
That's where jazz was created by this really shiny white guy.
The like Copacabana
How
style
shiny.
club.
How shiny.
Very shiny.
The
Mm.
Copacabana style club where Hobie and
Yeah, and-
Veronica Garcera's character, whom forgetting
Carlotta.
Carlotta go on the arranged date,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
There is that feeling of like, oh, this is living the big Hollywood life. Which things were so much cooler when fucking movie stars weren't going to the Viper Club or wherever the fuck they're
It's the
going
Viper
now.
Room.
Okay. And it was like, man,
I don't think they go there anymore.
hard days.
They go to One Oak.
Hard day of work. You got to go out and party. You sit at a fucking white tablecloth place where some big band plays. This most brightly lit room in the world, and everyone has to dress nice and then just point at each other. But like, yes,
Yeah.
Channing Tatum's also there with the suitcase. Like the two gossip columnists are there. Like this is like their nightlife, and yet this is all part of the machinery. This is basically a nighttime version of the studio commissary.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's so controlled, but it's supposed to not feel controlled.
Can I
Yes.
shout out another guy in this movie? One of the actors in the Roman movie,
Mhm.
Hail
Senator
Caesar?
Sistimus, yes,
Mhm.
is played by a guy called Clement von Frankenstein.
Quite a good name.
Whoa.
Ooh, say it again.
Clement von Frankenstein.
Faster.
Clement von Frankenstein. Slower. Clement von Frankenstein.
Mm.
Yeah. Isn't that a cool name? He's
It's
a
a very
member
cool
of the Frankenstein family.
I would go by
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Well,
Oh, he
Frankenstein's
died!
monster.
What if my
Just
name was like David Dracula? And I'm like, it's Dracula, actually.
That's what I'm saying.
right.
Just go with it, man.
He died in 2019,
He did.
and he's interred in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery,
Did we know
also in LA.
Did we know that Heather Goldenhirsch is married to Brian F. O'Byrne?
No, that's wonderful.
That's a cool fucking couple.
Character actor legends there.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian F. O'Byrne, great theater actor.
I
Wait,
love this movie.
He has a
I
little
could look at
accent
forever.
over the I. Everyone knows this.
Brian
Yes?
F.
Okay.
O'Byrne.
Well- Anyway, everyone has great names.
This is just a movie I find so relaxing for how much it is like a movie that really spins my brain and gets me thinking off about a bunch of different things.
Right.
The
Your
aesthetic-
brain is thinking off.
my brain is thinking off, but the aesthetic pleasures of this movie, the like tuning of every single performance, and that it does ultimately like reassert why I am so obsessed and build my life around these stupid things that are so hard to make and involve like so much pain and suffering, and also involve like the worst people in the world ruining other people's lives. It just makes me feel very romantic.
I
about
love
movies.
the name The Future. It's so
Yes.
dumb.
Yes, very
It's so
dumb.
extremely dumb.
We are the future. I like that their ransom note is also just like somebody, got on a typewriter,
Yeah.
wrote 4 lines. Cute little note.
Yeah.
But
None
al-
of this cutting things out of magazines.
Also, that they're literally
Their
their
manner.
plan is to hand a big briefcase of money to a submarine
Mhm.
captain so that he like remembers them
He'll
fondly.
just take it to the Soviet Union and be
Right.
like, here's a
It doesn't-
demonstrably small amount of money.
Right.
Really.
Compliments of the future.
Right. It doesn't feel like they want to go to Russia. I think they're more like, in case they take over, they'll like look
Mhm.
kindly upon us or
Mhm.
whatever.
I'm amused. Okay, that sequence does feel like it's everything about it is hilarious to me. It's
Yes.
also like they all have the same raincoats
It
and little
feels like a
hats.
fantasy sequence.
Yes.
It also, it like looks like tank photography in this very traditional way, even though it is ostensibly a quote unquote real world sequence. It is as coded in the language of the genres of films that you're seeing in the productions.
Right.
And even the look of the submarine having this kind of model. And then you're like, now we're just on a big balsa wood
Mhm.
that's clearly only the top
That's the one where
layer.
that's the one scene I feel like doesn't have that dichotomy that the rest of the film has. That's kind of like, it's fake, but it's real at the same time. We pull away, we see the set.
It's a classic Cohen
Mhm.
deflation, right? Of like, this is the big meeting. And then like Channing does his like perfect
His
like
hair toss.
dancer jump,
Yes.
but his foofy little dog jumps off and he has to catch him, which then causes him to drop the briefcase, and it was all for nothing.
God.
Um,
100K.
I think we're going to play the box office game, unless there's anything else.
I just call it one tiny thing I like.
Please.
Jonah Hill tells a story about the weekend that Superbad came out, and he went out to a bar with his friends, and they were like, "You're a fucking movie star overnight. This is crazy. You
Sure.
got to have like the
Mhm.
best weekend of your life.
Right.
You've just like immediately made it." And they go to this bar, and Scarlett Johansson's there, and they were like, "You should go talk to Scarlett Johansson."
Mm.
And he was like, "A guy like me can't talk to Scarlett Johansson." And they were like, "My guy, you just became a movie
Right, you're number
star.
one at the box.
Your
Yeah.
thing's a hit.
Sure.
You can
do
go
it."
talk to her."
Yeah.
And he went over and talked to her, and she clearly had no idea who he was. And he talks about it as like the perfect immediate deflation at the
Right.
moment he was riding high. There's something kind of nice about this
Yeah.
movie ending with them getting married
Yeah.
off screen.
It is beautiful. I like that she pruned his ego
Yes.
and then off screen inflates his character.
It also feels like part of what attracts her to him is that he is some schmo where she's like, this guy isn't
Yes.
going to get caught up in some crazy fucking
No.
ego.
Totally. Well, she likes again that he's reliable. And he's I don't know. Can I say one more thing
You can
about
say
and it's
anything you
listen, you're not tired of me yet. I mean, it's like
Never.
I feel like rewatching this for me, I was kind of like, yeah, this movie is about, it's about a million things, but it is also squarely about whether, to have passion for the job that you do.
Yeah.
And is it like, how much do you sacrifice in order to feel fulfilled to an extent at what you do day in and day out?
Yes.
And there is a way to read this film as like, well, the problem is he could do Lockheed and he would just be dead inside, or he does this and he continues to not see his family and he's,
Right.
dying in some other way.
Sure.
And there's no middle ground, and that's such a bleak read. But the film, but what I love about it is that the Coens kind of push you to see it as more optimistic than that. They're
yes.
reassuring. They're like Jonah Hill to me.
Well, and also that Alison Pill is like, it would be nice to have you around more, but isn't like, you better take that job.
Right.
And his
right.
children still love him. And you can tell that he clearly wishes he could be there a little more, but he is so relieved that like, oh my God, his problem got solved.
Yeah.
You
I'll
know?
tell you something.
Please.
I was married to Allison Pill.
Wait.
Home every night. No, if I was.
Yes.
Oh,
Knock, knock.
Sure.
Open the door. I guess
Yeah.
I would have keys.
Yeah.
Key and door.
I got a prescription. It says one pill
exactly.
nightly.
Exactly.
Nightly. Do not skip.
And thank you for saying that. And I do think it's important.
Take with water. I
Love her.
the
Yeah.
reason I said
Good dose of
earlier
Allison Pill in
that
this.
there's this sort of like
Mhm.
realization within Eddie that he is dirty show folk is that point, which is just like, it's not about just finding joy in a job, but the whole thing about the fucking entertainment industry making stuff is for all the like perceived glamour if you make it all the way to the top, which is a fucking moonshot, a
Mhm.
lazy moonshot. So much of it is so unglamorous, so annoying, so soul crushing that the only reason you do it is if there's just nothing else you can do. Right? Like to some degree, you're broken inside where you're just like, even just being the guy fucking handing out the box lunches who once George Clooney is giving his speech seems like the most checked out dude in the world until that moment. And you see him lock in and be like, oh, fuck, Baird's doing a good take, right? As does everyone else on set starts to look up with this like Spielberg gaze of like, we're witnessing something cool happening. That's why we do this job rather than work at a restaurant, right? And I think it's telling that there are the couple of moments where the Lockheed Martin guy is interviewing Eddie and he'll say like, do you really want to spend all your time like babysitting children, like carny circus folk? Like he'll say these kind of derogatory things. And every time he does something like that, it cuts back to Mannix and he winces. Where he's just kind of like holding it together, but he's like, don't talk that way about my people.
Right.
Mhm.
I know you think that I'm the serious grown-up who gets things done and they're the silly, petulant.
But it's all
Artist?
for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like,
Right.
I am one of them. I just do it in a different way.
Yeah.
He cares.
He cares.
Can I just share one final thing?
Yes.
Please.
Maybe two.
Make
The-
it 3.
I don't know. We'll see. But the water sequence
Yeah.
is
Mm.
awesome.
The Johansson.
Yeah. I like when cameras get splashed with water,
What a
and I
surprise.
want to see that more.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
You like a wet cam.
I do.
Yeah.
I
It's
do.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Sometimes blood does that, dirt does that.
Yeah.
But you want the
Teeth and
water.
Superman.
stain
You
the
want-
lens.
Yeah, mess
Get-
with the lens.
David's
Throw
very
stuff
excited
on
about
it.
the
Yeah,
flying
don't
teeth.
check the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want a
The gate.
dirty lens.
And keep the gate unchecked.
And then I'll just say with the Roman kind of opening when you see Clooney, I think arches for pedestrians.
Yeah.
I want to see more of that again.
I'm sorry.
It's so epic to walk under
Ar-
an
okay.
arch.
So you just want to be like on
Yeah.
the street and like, here's an arch. It's not serving any real purpose.
Yes.
But now, do you ever feel that way when you're like walking under some scaffolding on a New York City
No,
sidewalk?
I don't feel that way.
That's-
Like
that's
the modern arch.
I'm more like
That's
rats.
arch in-
Yeah.
Like
Right.
watch
That's arch
out.
in progress.
Arch in progress.
Do you go to
Arch to be shot.
do you go to
Washington
Washington
Square
Square Park and just
Yeah.
Big arch.
loop around?
You should be crouched down arch every
Yeah,
day.
absolutely.
Doing laps.
That's
Grand Army Plaza. There's a few
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
arches
Get some
around.
arches.
then
I-
you should go to Paris and then go
Yeah.
into the middle of the Étoile.
The Arc de
and just go.
Triomphe. The
I
most
did
triumphant.
last summer,
Very
and I
fun.
got a
The
lot
crazy
of arch.
roundabout.
Oh,
roundabout.
man.
I got a taste of it.
Yeah.
Fucking point me to the French triumphs of late. Jesus. You got a whole arch for it. I don't know.
You're being so nasty and not nostalgic today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true. I should be even. Paris.
You're being more of a Thessaly Thacker when you should be more of a Thor
I
Thacker.
can't wait
That's
to
right.
revisit France in my most excited upcoming new movie, Ratatouille 2.
Why don't they just call it Ratatouille?
I hope that by the time this episode comes out,
That rumor has been quashed.
Yes.
Definitively.
but I
Squashed.
also wonder if 50% of the meeting where they're batting about is just like, I mean, you put the numeral 2 in the title, the
Go
thing sells
anywhere.
itself.
Could really put it anywhere.
Our marketing department could take the year off.
My guess is it's a cat that now cooks
That
with
would
the rat.
That would suck. Ben, I've liked every idea you've ever
You've
had
lost
until
all
this
of your
moment.
credibility.
Yeah,
They
I don't
have
know,
to
Ben.
figure out how to get along.
Ben, they can't put a cat in a chef's hat. It's just the cat in the hat.
Yeah.
You can't.
Wow.
And he's already got his own movie coming
He's
out
already.
next year.
Damn. Okay.
We
We'll
gotta,
see,
we
I
gotta,
guess.
we gotta workshop this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Shirley-
film came out. Oh.
Yeah.
What
Uh-huh.
were you going to say with Shirley?
Yeah, tell me
Say-
when the film
say
came
your
out.
piece.
To the box office. Yeah.
We love Shirley so much.
Yeah.
I love you guys. I've missed you guys.
We've missed
Shirley-
you. Our listeners have
Yeah.
missed you.
Do you
It's a
remember
triumphant
this?
return.
I've missed hearing
Shirley.
Griffin say totemic, which he hasn't said today.
Totemic.
You use the word totemic a lot.
I'm going to save it. I do.
Haven't I said that to you before? Never mind. Okay, going on.
No, I think
Shirley,
you have.
do you
I think
remember?
you have. I was
Yeah.
debating whether to say it now or save it for
Sure.
later in the episode and make it count.
You were in town last year.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you're off. You come into town sometimes.
I come into town.
Woman about town.
We had dinner at Place des Fêtes. a wonderful
yeah.
restaurant.
Nice work if you can get it.
And then we walk out. If you remember this, we're walking in Clinton Hill.
Mhm.
And then I see just out of the corner of my eye
Mhm.
into the window
Mhm.
of like a person's house.
Mhm.
And what was happening on the television was something we had successfully blocked out, which was the Trump-Biden debate that annihilated Biden for good.
Yeah.
Like, I think we had been like, let's have dinner, and we're like, we won't worry about the, so stressful.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like I got home and like my brother was texting me, my wife, where they were like, it's the apocalypse. He's basically stood there not speaking for an hour.
I'm trying.
Even Trump seems
Oh my
concerned.
God. No, that was the last happy moment.
Like, you went home to Ariana, was it?
I
Like
was
one of your
staying
friends?
I was staying at Ariana's, and I think she was like, I walk in the door and she goes, Biden's gonna win.
And you were like, oh, really? And she was like, no.
I looked up because I knew I had deliberately planned something else on that
we
night.
all had the same thought of like, I can't be,
Yeah.
watching
And we were
that.
like, we'll
Romley and
grab
I-
dinner after our
Yeah.
very hard job.
Romley and I went to see Little Shop of Horror for the third time. And I walked out and I was like, Little Shop, Little Shop. And then I got like 40 texts that are like, it's awesome. It's collapsing.
Truly. It was one of those things where I was like, well, I assume you would do bad. And they're like, well, you assumed wrong. It's a billion times worse.
I think like 10 different people in my life texted me skull emojis.
Wait, that's right. I remember being like, oh no, he didn't do well, did he? And she was like,
It's understatement.
Good.
Right.
First minute was fine, I feel like. It pretty quickly went off the rail.
Yeah, he started with Corn Pop. Great opening.
Yeah.
Oh man. They just kept telling him to
Corn
say
Pop,
what that.
General Motors is alive and Corn Pop is dead. What if we started with that? All right. The film came out
Yeah.
February
man.
5th, 2016.
Mhm.
Number 2 at the box office, opening to $11 million.
It ends up at.
Domestically, it ended up at 30,
Okay.
and worldwide, it was 665.
It is kind of crazy that the Coen brand was so strong at this point that they
Right.
can make a movie for $22 million that just gets to $30 million, even though most of the public is like, huh?
Sure.
On to the next one. But okay. Yes.
So number 2.
Number 2.
Number 1 at the box office is a animated sequel, number 2, like in its second weekend. Sorry.
It's a deuce. It's in a second.
No,
one.
it's not a number 2. Sorry, it's in its second weekend. It's an animated sequel.
Is it a 3?
Yes, it is.
It's a 3. Is it Kung Fu Panda 3?
Correct.
Kate Hudson,
Is that right?
I believe, is Lady Panda in that.
Oh,
Bryan Cranston is
Never saw
Dad
it.
Panda. He finds all the other pandas. It's a movie set in the land of the pandas. I
Baby
have
panda.
never seen it.
I think I've seen
And
that
you know so
one.
much.
I think the only one I haven't seen is 4.
I haven't seen either of those. I know that one was a co-production with, like, I believe Pearl Animation
No, you know what?
Studios.
I've never seen it. Okay.
I-
I've only seen 1 and 2, I guess.
DreamWorks
Same.
specifically launched a Chinese animation company to get funding from the Chinese government and be like, and we're going to make movies for your market. And it was called Pearl Animation Studios. And I think that one they were like, we're doing something kind of interesting. We're not making this one. Pearl is making it. A different company.
Number
That
2,
really
Chelsea,
worked.
sir.
Really worked.
Mhm.
Pearl was shut down 5 years ago. David?
3 and 4 are holdovers from Christmas time, both very successful movies.
Okay, from 2015. I would have to imagine that one of them is Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
That is number 3
Okay.
at the box office. It has made $906 million in
People
8 weeks.
like to forget that it is still
Mhm.
domestically the highest grossing movie of all time.
Number 4 at the box office is
I do like to forget that.
People forget that. People think that Endgame overtook it because it did worldwide.
Worldwide.
But domestically, it's Force Awakens by a good margin.
Uh,
The other one,
is a Best Picture nominee, won some Oscars, big hit.
Star Wars Counter Programming.
I guess so. Grown up movie for sure.
Grown Up movie 2015. It was a big hit. It crossed over. Oh, it is The Revenant.
Yes. Which made a lot of money
A movie
and was
that-
a big hit.
I think sucks and is for losers.
I am more of a fan of it than you, but
I'm
I don't
wondering
really
if I were to
like
watch
that
it
much.
now,
It's
I
an
would
incredible looking
Respect
movie.
it more, but I
It's like
saw-
sort of an unbelievable technical achievement.
I will brag that
Right.
I saw it early.
Mhm.
And I was like, this thing sucks. This is DOA. And I had the opposite Hulk reaction where I walked out and I was like, this thing is making $0 and it's fucking coming up empty at the Oscars.
Right.
Like I had an unvarnished opinion
will say
before I had
it's-
heard any reviews, and that thing just completely bounced off of me.
It is not your kind of movie.
It's
I would
not.
say sort of mountain man, serious survivalist epic
Yes.
thing.
But I also think Leo winning the Oscar for that is like a good encapsulation of a lot of what's wrong with the Oscars and their mentality.
Definitely,
You don't think actors should suffer?
he ate liver.
Exactly.
I saw The Revenant with my dad, and he walked out and was like, "That bear was too small." That was
That's
he
quite a
fixates
note.
on like one critique.
Yeah.
And it takes him out of it. Mostly because if there's a bunch of talking, there's a language barrier and he needs a minute. But that movie. I
That
remember
movie doesn't
walking
have a
out.
ton of talking.
Mhm.
But the bear was too small.
No.
The bear was too small.
Number 5 at the box office is new this week. It is a
Okay.
romantic drama, a Sparks.
It's a
One of,
Sparks.
I would say, the more forgotten Sparks.
It's one of the more forgotten Sparkses.
Nicholas Sparks, of
Interesting.
course.
Is it the one with Marsden?
No. No.
Okay, I'm going to try to get to this by star. It's not the Julianne Hough, Josh Duhamel one.
Yeah, you're going to struggle with Star because I would say this one is a little light on, Stardust
Right.
from the sky.
It was a Marsden, Michelle Monaghan, I think were the one.
You can talk about other
Yeah,
Nicholas
no.
Sparks movies if you want.
But this kind of had,
I feel like these are two guys who they are hoping, a guy and a gal who they are hoping to make stars.
it's not the Lucky Ones.
No.
No, is it younger?
Nope.
I
They're
just
not
looked
young.
this up and I forgot
Oh,
this
I don't know how-
existed.
Are the
yeah.
stars young?
I don't know. They're in their 30s.
Okay.
Early 30s.
But they're trying to launch them as stars.
I think so. Yeah. The
not-
guy is someone that Hollywood for a few years was like, should he be a star?
Uh-huh.
And it was like, no.
So it's not the...
Yeah.
Did Patrick Schwarzenegger do one at some point? But it's not that.
I mean, he's about to be like Cyclops.
I know,
or
he's
whatever.
going to be something. Hollywood was trying to make them happen.
I mean, sort of. I'll tell you
Kinda.
that the film made $23 million on a budget of 10.
Okay.
I'll tell you that it was directed by Ross Katz, who
That
also
really
made Adult Beginners.
does not help at all.
No, it doesn't.
Who was the distributor of this
The
picture?
distributor was Lionsgate.
So it was also kind of maybe a lower tier one.
Yeah, and I feel like the Sparks shine is kind of going away at this point. Like this is
Yeah.
a later, like,
This one's tough.
yeah. I mean, I don't think-
completely forgot this existed.
Give me one of the stars and see if I might not even be able to
Oh.
get this title. But give me one of the stars.
Benjamin Walker.
Oh fuck yes, and it's Teresa Palmer,
Correct.
and it is called fuck.
You've also got Maggie Grace.
I can picture the poster.
Alexandra Daddario.
You could, the
He's-
truth is, you could just toss out any word.
He's wearing sunglasses. He's got a dumb smile. It's not called like The Best of Us, is it?
No,
But the
no.
title's
But, I
almost
mean, it
something
sounds like
that
Yeah.
meaningless.
Yeah, just
It's
toss
not
out
called
words.
All of Me. Is there an of in the title?
No, there's
Is
a
it
the.
the blanks?
It's called The Choice.
Yeah, that's one of the least existent movies we've ever had
It's
come up in
pretty
a box
tough.
office.
Alexandra Daddario, Tom Welling, Tom Wilkinson.
Mhm.
That's the one getting you going.
Yeah.
Panned by critics. Also
You
new
don't
this week
say.
at number 6
Yeah.
is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, another sort of bomb.
Yeah.
Directed by Burr Steers, I believe.
I went down a weird Wikipedia rabbit hole on how fucking hot the development of that movie was for 10 years before it ended up just getting kind of fucking dumped in theaters.
Yeah.
But people forget that was supposed to be
Well-
Natalie Portman starring and David O. Russell
They
directing.
dumped it, right. It was like the juice of that gimmick
Yes.
had like long since vanished.
And
right?
and fucking Benjamin Walker as Abraham Lincoln
That's
Vampire
right.
Hunter
Yes.
had bombed.
had happened.
The
and
thing
bombed.
was over. Yeah.
You've also got a movie I stand for, Craig Gillespie's The Finest Hours.
Yes.
Just fine and getting over that bar. We gotta get the boat over the bar.
Mhm.
You got Ride Along 2,
Not
film you tried to
Great.
get in a part in, right?
I was
You were close.
I was close.
Yeah, and then they replaced you with what, Ken Jeong or something.
I don't know if I've ever talked about this on mic
Okay, fair
or if I've
enough.
talked about it on mic 80 times,
Might
but
be.
they wanted me to I would have had to have quit the pilot of Vinyl before it was shot.
Yes, that was it. Right.
Mm.
Right.
Which was like
I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's better that you did vinyl. It got directed by Martin Scorsese. You don't want to be in Ride
that's
Along
the biggest
2.
thing. And it did go to series and it did pay my rent for a year
And
when
like
this
fucking
podcast made
Ride
no
Along
money.
2, like, no one remembers Ride Along
Well,
2.
and, the other part of it is the casting director who was really kind of championing me for this part, which was written to be a fucking 20-something
Computer
Zuckerbergy
nerd,
annoying guy, and
right,
it was
yeah.
me, Will Poulter, and Dylan O'Brien.
Sure.
And it was a test, and they wouldn't let me test unless I quit Vinyl. And I came to trivia, and I
Jeez.
hadn't slept in 2 days, and I was like, this feels like the biggest decision of my career. What do I
Right.
do? And it was an overlap of 2 days, but they between the two productions, but they wouldn't allow it. And I had to quit the one job, and I chose Vinyl, which was the right move. But the other thing that happened was that casting director had such a bee in her bonnet of like, I want to fucking hire him, that a year later she gets hired onto a new series and says, "This is my chance to hire Griffin Newman." It was The Tick.
There you go.
If I had
Better
done
choice.
Ride Along 2, I probably also wouldn't have done The Tick, which is more important to me. And that's how I met you.
That's how we met.
Yes.
You
Wow.
interviewed him for The Tick?
We're being nostalgic and not nasty, dude.
Shirley showed up on
I came to
set.
set.
In what I'm not kidding was probably the hottest day we ever filmed. It was in a cooling tent. The day before that, the tent was a cooling tent that didn't have a fan. They bought the fan because that previous day Peter had fainted. And so Shirley at least got to be in a tent with a fan. And we met.
Yeah.
We love Shirley.
No, I love you guys.
Griffin Newman Breaking Big. was the
That was
headline.
fun. I
It
mean,
was great times.
I remember you guys were, you guys were doing your podcast. I remember meeting you, and
Yes.
and David was like, "You're going to meet my friend," and I was like, "I know this."
But we'd only been doing the podcast
Yeah.
for
Right.
a little over a year at that point.
Yeah. You were very neat. I still remember when we were walking to Olive Garden. I was a fellow at the Atlantic, and you were like, I think my friend and I are going to do a Star Wars podcast. And I was like, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
Sounds neat.
That sounds right.
You should do
Good
that.
luck with that.
It's a weird choice.
Yeah.
Remember when we
What,
went to
Olive Garden?
It was kind of a weird choice.
I
Still the only time I've ever been.
yeah. I don't know why
It was
we
like
did
me,
that.
you, Joe, and Kevin.
Yeah, I think it was a bit because we
It
were
was
like,
Kevin being like, let's I
Let's have
love Olive Garden.
breadsticks.
You've never been. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
The breadsticks are good. The breadsticks still hit.
mhm.
Decade of Dreams.
Number 9 is by Number 9 at the box office. Number 9 at the box office is The Boy. That movie about the boy with Jared Kushner.
Oh, right, of course, which then led to Brahms: The
Of course,
Boy
Brahms
2.
The Boy 2, of course, which was directed by Tarkovsky. Yeah, I don't know.
It's one of the weirdest
I
titles
know.
ever.
Brahms The Boy 2.
Is Katie Holmes in both of those movies?
She's in Brahms The Boy
Of
2,
course.
but she is not in The
Okay.
Boy.
How absurd of
She doesn't get it up until Brahms enters.
Yeah.
Number 10 at the box office is Dirty Grandpa.
Uh-huh.
And that's the 10 of the Hail Caesar. And that's that. That's over.
February 2016.
Shirley, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad we made it happen. It's got to happen again sooner.
I'll
When
be back in
we
town.
Get David on a train to LA. David is asleep.
No, he's just doing the whale again.
He's too tired to even do the whale. Shirley, is there anything you want to plug?
We
got it.
gosh.
This is kind of a whale. It was like a whale post heart attack.
It was a tiny whale.
It was a little whale.
It's the dead whale in the film The
It was a
Shallows.
Baby beluga.
Anything I want to plug?
Yeah.
I don't know. My iPhone in because it needs charging.
10 comedy points. Great job.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm still at the Atlantic with David over here.
Hell yeah.
You know, great to always work with David. Can't believe
Swinging
he's not here.
reviews.
How things have changed over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm around.
Hell yeah. Thank you all for listening. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Tune in next week for the Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
That's right.
Yes.
We don't know who's on that one.
No,
Probably
don't.
Buster himself.
I think we're
Ooh.
very close to booking Buster. But he also has thrown his hat in the ring for League of Their Own. So we don't know which one he's going to end up on. And as always, Shirley, thank you for another totemic episode of this podcast.
Wow.
Oh man, I'm honored.
Okay, that's a wrap on Shirley. Great girl. You two have to stay and record ads. Okay, all right, gang.
All right, let's go.
I got
let's
my
go,
quote
let's
ready to
go,
go.
let's
All right. I'd like us to have fun out there. All right.
Thanks,
Really
Coach.
bring your true self. Feel authentic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't. Is this your impression of a director? It does feel very soccer coach.
I'm suddenly nervous. I don't know what to tell you.
You need to have big director bullhorn energy.
All right. Well, listen, I think we should get into it.
Yep.
All right. Action.
Yeah.
Blank Check with Griffin and David is hosted by Griffin Newman and David Sims. Our executive producer is me, Ben Hostley. Our creative producer is Marie Barty Salinas. And our associate producer is AJ McKeon. This show is mixed and edited by AJ McKeon and Alan Smithy. Research by JJ Birch. Our theme song is by Lane Montgomery and the Great American Novel, with additional music by Alex Mitchell. Artwork by Joe Bowen, Ollie Moss, and Pat Reynolds. Our production assistant is Minnick. Special thanks to David Cho, Jordan Fish, and Nate Patterson for their production help. Head over to blankcheckpod.com for links to all of the real nerdy shit. Join our Patreon, Blank Check Special Features, for exclusive franchise commentaries and bonus episodes. Follow us on social at Blank Check Pod. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter, Checkbook, on Substack. This podcast is created and produced by Blank Check Productions.